Morning, gamer! It is a beautiful Friday, December 18th, 2020. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be on Gaming Morning Show. I am Ryan. We have Sean. We have Look, it's Mike O. And we have 3 hours of fun planned for you on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Interview coming up sometime later in the morning, about 7:25 a.m. Pacific time. So thanks for hanging with us. We're going to talk to science editor of CNET, Dr. Jackson Ryan, about some of the potential implications in the world of climate when it comes to the next-gen consoles. We get a whole bunch of days of the day. Like, I would dare say we have a plethora of days of the day today. So that's coming up a little bit later. There's going to be a sequel to LA Law. We'll tell you about that. What's the one thing that Gal Gadot?
Godot. Good try.
Godot. I was Gadot.
It's foreign. It doesn't count as a mispronunciation.
Yeah, no, it probably does. Yeah, you should know how to say people's names, Ryan. And we got some sad news out of the world of Star Wars, but we also got some pretty amazing news out of the world of Star Wars, it seems. So we have that coming up for you a little bit later in the show. We'll do our Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News. That's coming up in this day in gaming history and birthdays to celebrate. Good morning, Culty Vibes. Good morning, everyone joining us on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Good morning, Sean. Dare I say, do.
Today's the best and worst day in college football.
He's already at war with himself. Oh my gosh.
Being a huge USC fan, I always root for the Trojans. But I also am a Duck fan because I went there for 2 years. They were my favorite Oregon school when I was in high school. All of my family that is not default to USC are Oregon fans. So it's my least favorite game of the year. And now it's the Pac-12 championship game. I thought I was going to sneak by this year without having to suffer through this day. And even Washington was like, nah, you should suffer just once. And usually the Pac-12 championship game is the one game where it's like, all right, this is going to happen and both teams are going to be playing well and the winner will go to the playoff and the loser will go to the Rose Bowl and everything will be fine. Well, that's not going to be the case this year. So here we are.
You sound so somber.
And it's a Friday. Don't play your championship game on a Friday. It's so stupid.
That's weird.
It is. It is bizarre.
It's been a weird year.
I wish I could say it was because of COVID, but it's not.
That's true. Yeah, this is
the Pac-12 is dumb.
Yeah, this is one of the Pac-12's ideas from the get. So, I mean, Mike, I don't know if you've ever seen a person he's not even doing it justice. You told me stories, Sean, about having to just hide in a room and be like, you know what, whatever happens happens. I just can't because you can't be happy.
I can't.
And it's for a championship. So good.
What a weird
It's true.
Because I mean, I have no qualms about rooting for another team at any point in any of the sports that I'm in. So I never feel badly when the other team, that the Broncos, for instance, the Flames, are playing. Even the teams that I'm a supporter of and not a big fan of, Cubs, Lakers. No, the closest I can probably get to you, Sean, and it's not even close, is when the Lakers beat the Blazers. Because I really like all the Blazers fans. My friends that I've met in the Pacific Northwest who are Blazers fans, they're really good fans. They really genuinely care. They're emotionally impacted by the outcome of games. And I even try to be like, I don't care what happens. Last playoffs where the Lakers beat the Blazers in the first round, I was just like, I'm not going to care what happens. And then the first game starts, I'm like, no, I really want the Lakers to win.
You take a stand.
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen. It just kind of happened. So, well, are you going to be off in time for kickoff?
Just barely.
5 o'clock, right?
Kickoff's at 5 o'clock. I'm banking on the fact that they probably won't actually kick off at 5 o'clock, and I'll have a few extra minutes. But I'm off at 4:30, so I theoretically should have plenty of time to get done, pack up my stuff, and get home right for kickoff. And great news. I don't know if you guys were planning on coming over for dinner in the game, but you should come over for dinner in the game because my parents are bringing over Paddingtons.
Paddington's is the bomb pizza place in our town. What?
Yeah.
Because we kind of have like degrees of pizza, right? Like we're pretty happy getting Domino's anytime. That's like the chain version. On our side of the river, because there's a river that runs through town, we like Odd Moe's as far as like the next level pizza, but Paddington's. Tippy top of that mountain, Mike. Oh, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
It's the pinnacle.
How'd your Thursday night treat you, Mike?
It was great. We played a little bit of Rebirth Island, then hopped in the more traditional Warzone with the group, and had some fun. It was pretty good. Just quiet, quiet evening here. For me, it was my Friday night, so I stayed up until a whopping 12 o'clock midnight, and then went to sleep because growing up or something. And but yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It's quiet. I like quiet nights. Quiet nights are my favorite.
That's good. And quiet nights are good to relax, maybe watch some football, which I didn't do. I got caught up in streams. This happens now almost all the time with Thursday night football, unless Denver's playing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna watch some streams, and all of a sudden my phone like beeps and says, the NFL is doing this. It's like, oh yeah, there's a game tonight. But Oregon fans were going pretty nuts. Even my dad was texting me, being like, there's 2 Ducks QBs in the game, which actually for Ducks quarterbacks, that's a pretty big accomplishment, to be honest. Do you know what happened to Derek Carr for the Raiders? Anyone?
No idea.
He's not great.
What? He was in street clothes, so he must have got hurt. I mean, when you get benched, at least they don't make you go back to the locker room and change your clothes. It's like you're that benched. Like, coach, if he gets hurt, I'm coming. No, just go put a sweatshirt on.
It's John Gruden. I mean, he very well might say, "Hey, go put your street clothes on," and then come back and stand next to me.
That's funny.
Make sure I can touch you with my arm because he's kind of a weird guy.
John Gruden. There's a love-hate relationship there for Raiders fans for sure. If you did miss it, the Raiders did lose in probably the most disastrous way, which kind of makes me happy. Oh, it's so much fun. And that was another instance too where it's like, I was like, Chargers, yeah, I kind of want them to lose. And then I was like, nope, not that badly. So I had a good night watching some fun streams yesterday. We will keep telling you about some things that are going on with our friends as they arrive in the chat. Culty Vibes, we're going to give you a shout out to throughout the morning. Be sure to check out the 45th Parallel podcast. We'll have information about that. But here we go. I've never tried this before on the show yet as I create topics of the day. No spoilers, but apparently The Mandalorian is trending because The Mandalorian was really good this season. Have either of you watched any of it at this point?
Yes.
And
Yes.
has it been kind of really good?
It is really good. Yeah.
And again, no spoil. I haven't watched the latest one, but a friend of mine texted me this morning just a series of the shocked face emoji and said, "Have you watched the new Mandalorian?" And I said, "No, I've been sleeping."
Oh my
And
gosh.
he told me that I need to do it. So as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna be watching this season.
Get out of bed right
amazing,
now.
though. It's been so
See,
really good.
I let the last couple laps, so I have 3 to watch, because I was watching them weekly, and I was like, I really want to watch like a few at a time, so I let the last 3 go so I can watch them in a bigger chunk. So that's what I will have on during my downtime today.
All right, you can catch us on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. It is 6:15 West Coast, 9:15 on the East, and this is kind of our challenge, y'all, is to figure out how to talk about The Mandalorian, realizing that pretty much everybody on the internet is saying no spoilers. So if you watch The Mandalorian, if you want to at least say, hey, it was in fact just as good as you think it is, let us know. This was from Boss Logic on Twitter. I can officially say I'm finally back in love with Star Wars. Red heart emoji. I felt disconnected from it for the longest time, but now it just feels right again. The same feelings I once had are back in full force, and then there's so much Jon Favreau love out there. Disney Plus goes on to say, thank you, Jon Favreau, Disney Plus, and every single person involved. So
It was a fantastic season.
Morning, Danny Dime. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, and I've never watched much Star Wars stuff. If someone said, hey, we're going to get together and binge The Mandalorian, and you can catch up, and you can be part of the crew or whatever, then I'd be interested. Oh, there's someone on the top of the arcade. Yikes!
I have not yet played this map, so I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, this is the mall map I was telling you about, Sean, yesterday on the show.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, so
It's a mall in New Jersey, though, so I probably know the layout already.
Oh, that's so true. You grew up there in New Jersey, right?
Yeah. The mall is a way of life in New Jersey.
Ooh.
So you have church and the mall. And I got shot from behind.
Sometimes in the same parking lot.
More
I don't know if
often
that's
than
true,
not.
but I thought it was funny.
Sean cannot guarantee the truth of that statement. All right, now I'm in like what looks kind of like a Claire's or a Hot Topic or something.
The CD station is great. Oh man, this takes me back.
Yeah, the record store. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was the way of life. That was when I went to the mall. I spent all my money at, like, I think it was Sam Goody was the one that we had in the local mall. So, and then they had like the loyalty programs too.
Man, this is cool. Beach pizza. Looks like some pretty crappy pizza.
It's no
I think so.
Paddingtons, am I right? You know.
Oh, not yet.
Ooh, oh no, it's an arcade.
Oh. Fall Guys just installed for me, so we could always switch. You know, I don't want to make us be pigeonholed into a single game, but that guy just really did not want to let one of us get him.
He was a peekaboo-y kind of guy.
Oh no! On the arcade!
I'm gonna die so many times because I'm just looking at the
Oh no!
map.
The arcade!
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not alone.
No, I think that's how I played this map the first time. Was looking around, being like, "Oh, this is so pretty." I go, "What's this? What's this?" Do, 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 do.
Someone's in Radio House. Someone came out of Radio House. Look, it's Myko killed someone from Radio House.
Is there a? Oh, you got slashed, and then someone shot me from 18.
Yeah.
Oh, we're together.
The food court. What do you got in here? Beach pizza. Okay. All right. What else? Is that really
Two of them are on B.
Okay, I'm going to B.
What is this place? The cookie box.
Ooh.
All right. Swirl and dots. Pop and eat. What
All right.
Are you popcorn? Yep, that's popcorn.
Boys, we can't screw this up. Dr. Chick is here.
Jim's Donuts.
Dr. Chick has specifically said no spoilers. So if we screw this up, Dr. Chick may leave us forever. So we need to make
I
sure
won't
we
give
don't
any
screw this
spoilers.
up.
'Cause I haven't seen it either.
That's true. Two of
Here's
the
the only spoiler. It's awesome.
two of the three of us don't know anything, Dr. Chick. So we're in pretty good shape. And that's the weird part, is to ask for a topic of the day that has to do with something that's super trendy and not try to get spoilers. But, you know, someone could have jumped in here on their own and be like, "Did you see The Mandalorian? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that this person is dead."
I can't believe that Yoda showed up with the time car and hit 88 miles an hour and went back to 1985.
I threw a grenade. It was a poor decision. Stick around. We got Gaming Morning Show, morning gaming news coming up after this. But yeah, I mean, it just was amazing. You know, you opened up the Twitter timeline, and all that I saw was Mandalorian-related stuff. So it must have been super good.
I will say, one of the things that I really, really enjoy about The Mandalorian is the weekly releases. As opposed to the binging. Like, I love binging, don't get me wrong. But it's kind of fun doing the whole, you know, every week you got to tune in and see it that way.
Find out next time on The Mandalorian. I did see someone sliding at a radio house, and I was like, "Oh, that person's sliding really fast." It was a car. It blew me up.
And that's fair.
Oh, there's
Man.
more of them.
Man, they really liked the
How do
car
I get in the
modeling,
seat?
the car on the pedestal modeling for this season of
Ooh, you can go
Call of
outside
Duty,
over here.
because they have a car that's for sale out by the fountain. All right, halftime, good half, boys, good half. Here we go.
Oh, we're winning. Wow, I'm doing terribly, but we're winning.
I'm not doing awfully, so that's a win. Yeah, so here's some of the days of the day today. I mean, there are so many. I mean, this could be 3 different segments. It is National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, which is appropriate because it's Christmas time almost.
Harry's
National
got an ugly sweater on.
nice way to come legit. National Underdog Day. So if you are likely going to lose your matchup in terms of like the spread or predictability, today is your day. Maybe our team in Call of Duty, the Underdogs. It is Arabic Language Day, National Twin Day, Bake Cookies Day. It is also Roast Suckling Pig Day, International Migrants Day, and Answer the Telephone Like Buddy the Elf Day.
Oh, God.
That's not every day.
So apparently, in the movie Elf, Buddy answers the phone something like, "Hi, this is Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color?" Something like that. And
Yeah,
so
that's exactly it.
the encouragement here is to answer the phone like that every day. That's my teammate. There's someone behind me, and I got shot up on the balcony by the escalators.
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
That's what I think it was. Yeah. And I'm not an Elf, expert by any means, because I have not watched that movie kind of from start to finish, like many people. But
I am
They're coming from
am
the food court.
resident expert on Elf. It's one of my favorite movies, and I watch it all year long. If
what are
I
you
could
doing?
have any other name, it would be Francisco.
What are you doing up here? What are you doing up here? What are you doing
Okay.
up here? What are you doing up here?
There's a
What are you-
guy. There's a guy over there.
Well, you gotta protect me because I have my back to him because I'm looking at your face. Oh, there's a guy
Ah,
over there.
man, they're just like hiding and sniping. I don't enjoy.
Oh no, there's 2. Oh, did you guys see the Great Adventure
for
Store
that
that's
thing.
coming soon?
The what?
The Great Adventure Store up the escalators. They even
Okay,
have
I gotta go over by the food court and kill that guy before I lose my
this guy up here.
mind. I avenged you.
Oh,
Thank you.
there was a helicopter,
Helicopter,
and
helicopter,
it shot me through the
helicopter.
roof. Don't worry, the roof is not on fire
Oh no, there's a helicopter.
Yet.
yet.
I'm gonna get B.
Ooh, this store is under
Nope, there's another car. I didn't get B.
There's some Wait, hold on.
Oh,
There's a surfboard
there's
store.
a
This is New Jersey.
there's a furniture store. Oh no,
There's no.
it looks like the surfboard store is getting like revamped or something. Like it used to be a surfboard store, but then the surfboard economy in New Jersey took a
Oh,
real
Surf
hit, and
Shack,
so
yeah.
they're starting to kind of take things down
Gotcha.
a little bit. That's going to
Oh,
become a hoverboard store because it is the 1980s, and hoverboards are just around the corner. So
What is this? Oh, we're in the
I helped you.
audio section.
Thank you.
Look at these computers. Wow. The super chroma color. Yeah, please.
Oh gosh, there's
That
so
is a
many people
Mountain
up
Dew
here.
commercial, guys.
I've never
Computer
seen.
and accessories special bundle, $199.
Ooh, 400
heck of a deal.
megahertz processor. That was my first computer. Was like something like 144 megahertz. It was a Packard Bell.
Need help at B.
I'm at C.
Oh,
Ugh.
So have you ever seen 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler?
heck yeah. It's a good
Recommend? No
movie.
recommend?
Absolutely.
Dr.
It's
Chick
very
says
funny.
that's the tradition right there. Remember how the first half went so clean?
Yeah, I think this is going less than ideally. I'm gonna get A.
Sorry, I was doing a lot of sightseeing.
By the way, the other thing I like about this mall setting is they have like the back rooms pretty authentic too.
Yeah. No, they did a good job.
Because I've worked in a mall, and this is exactly how it looks. You like it's kind of like a lesser, important version of Disneyland in the sense that like, finding out what's behind the curtain is less of a deal at the mall, but still like everything looks so colorful and bright and beautiful at the mall, and then you go in the back rooms and it's like the vultures at the top of the river being like, no, don't go this way, you don't turn around. Hashtag Splash Mountain. Anyway. Okay, cool. Good talk. Why'd you die?
Oh, Alpha.
Hey, Dason X, good mornings. Thanks for hanging out with us on Gaming Morning Show as well. What is your holiday movie tradition? Do you have one? So far, we've had things like 8 Crazy Nights, and then it is Answer the Phone Like Buddy the Elf Day. So we're asking people about that one as well. Our topic of the day, just hashtag no spoilers. No spoilers. We have a spoiler-free zone. Is The Mandalorian. Is that something you watched? Was it as amazing as many people on Twitter this morning were talking about? Not even just the ending, but the whole season. I mean, we're having like life-changing reviews. All right, we are all on B. The whole armada is on B. If we can't get B back right now, we're not doing it right. We got B back.
So, but like, so as far as the spoilers go, right? You've got, it's been a long season. So what's the timeline? You know, when does it run out? Because it started back in like September, didn't it?
You're talking about like when the spoilers officially start and end?
Yeah, like can we talk about the first episode? You know,
I think you could talk about like the first episode. If you had, let's see, where's
I don't
Dr.
remember it.
Oh wait, Dr. Chick has only seen the first episode, so yes, you can talk about the first episode. We're just trying to be community friendly. Now, Gaming Morning Show does not guarantee its ability to not spoil anything, so please forgive us if for some reason we say something that is a big deal. See store for details.
You say you learn Baby Yoda's name? I don't say the name, but you learn the name.
Well, I already shared this on the show earlier. My biggest revelation was that Baby Yoda isn't in fact Baby Yoda. I thought when I saw all the jazz about Baby Yoda on Twitter, I thought it was like, oh, cool, so this takes place before all the movies, and that is actually Baby Yoda.
No.
Nope.
It's quite a bit after, actually.
All right. It is 6:28 West Coast, 9:28 on the East, and 2:28 in the UK. He is Mike O on the bottom left. That is Sean as normal on the upper left, and I am Ryan. We are hanging out with you for 3 hours this morning. Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and a Gaming Morning Show. TV. Big thanks to Austin Attack 12 for following us on Twitch, and everyone else who's with us this morning. Stick around, 7:25 a.m. Pacific time, so about an hour from now we'll talk to the science editor of CNET, Jackson Ryan. Coming up, we have some news about an LA Law sequel, what Gal Gadot kept from Wonder Woman 1984, which, by the way, Roku has HBO Max, I think as of like yesterday, and so we can actually watch all the jazz that's coming out on HBO Max, which I'm super excited about. Also, that is the second time this morning I've said all the jazz, which I've never recalled saying before prior. So there you
National All the Jazz
go.
Day.
All the Jazz Day. All right, it is time to get informed. We got to figure out what is going on in the world of gaming news. And so at this stage, it is time to head to the newsroom. Let's get hashtag video game expert. Here's Sean.
Good morning. It is Friday, December 18th, 2020, and this is your Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News. So Sony's a big company, and when you decide to mess with big companies, sometimes they get mad and they retaliate. So we're going to walk back the Cyberpunk 2077 story to earlier this week, because we haven't really specifically covered much of it, although we've talked about it. So Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Effectively broken for current gen consoles. Some people have been fine, but a lot of people have had many issues, whether it's graphical issues or game breaking bugs. So earlier this week, CD Projekt Red came out and said, hey, we're sorry, anyone that wants a refund can get a refund. The next day they're like, JK, we mean go to Sony and Microsoft and ask for a refund. And so that flooded the gates for both Microsoft and Sony in terms of people contacting them via email and chat and phone asking for a refund. So Sony says, fine. In a statement, SIE strives to ensure a high level of customer satisfaction. Therefore, we begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via PlayStation Store. SIE will also be removing Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation Store until further notice. So don't piss off Sony. Otherwise, they're like, fine, get out. So if you have purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via the PlayStation Store, getting a refund is as easy as just like filling out a form, and there you go. There've been some speculation on if you own Cyberpunk 2077 through the PlayStation Store and don't get a refund, even though it's been removed, they should still be able to push updates to you. And it will most likely come back to the store when they can prove that it is sufficiently fixed.
It has been quite the saga. If you had a really strong producer running the show, I would have had some saga-based music. You know, dun 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 dun, something really like thrilling and whatnot. But nope, I got nothing for you.
In more positive news, Among Us continues its worldwide domination. Among Us is now available for Xbox Game Pass on PC. So if you are a Game Pass subscriber, you can play Among Us for PC if you don't already own it through Steam. And between that and its release on Switch earlier this week, this is just one step towards it being on every console. So it will at some point come to Xbox One via the Game Pass. And speculation is that it'll come to PlayStation shortly afterwards. So it'll make it just that much easier to play some great Among Us, because most of us don't have phones to play it on.
But if for some reason you have any issues with it loading correctly, you can request a refund through CD Projekt Red. They'll just take care of it for you.
And always last but never least, we finish off today's gaming morning show, Morning Gaming News, with the world-renowned segment within a segment where we take a look at what is out today. We have Ketch out on Xbox One.
Excuse me, did you sneeze?
Ketch. I'm assuming it's Ketch, but there's two T's. I don't leave that other T out. 60 Parsecs out on Xbox One.
Excuse me, this is a family show.
Speaking of Star Wars, Parsecs is made popular because of Star Wars. Parsecs, however, is a unit of distance, not time. Dark Arcana
Yes, of course.
Carnival is out on Switch. 60 Seconds Reatomized out on Switch. Shikaku Shapes out on Switch.
Again, this is a family show.
Riddle Joker out on PC. Watam out on PC. And for the most prestigious award in video game focused morning shows, your favorite segment within a segment within a segment, today's name of the morning is Freddy Spaghetti out on Switch.
All right.
You're such a Freddy Spaghetti.
And I have to confess that I chose this as name of the morning, and then when I pulled up the information to get the publisher or developer Twitter, I saw a screenshot. I'm like, I've seen someone play this game, and it's hilarious. You play as a piece of spaghetti. It's kind of like that I am bread game that was around. It's like that, but you're a piece of spaghetti.
Interesting.
I don't think Will Smith was in I Am Bread. I think that was I Am Legend, if I remember right.
It's the sequel to I Am Legend. I Am Bread.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Turned into bread.
Yeah, we got an I Need Among Us for PlayStation from Dason X, which Culty brings up a very good point, and let's shout out Culty really quick. And by the way, Culty, your shout out is big time because it takes all of the things and just goes boom, boom, boom. But check out the 45th Parallel podcast, wherever podcasts are sold. But yes, GMS Community Among Us would be kind of fun for sure. Days Next was saying that we need Among Us for PlayStation, and I imagine it's got to be close, right? If they're getting it on Game Pass and other places, it has to be close.
Yeah, it seems like they're slowly rolling it out everywhere, so it'll happen.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, some votes in for another one for 8 Crazy Nights, but National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, #1 Christmas movie. Days Next says, usually watch that Christmas Eve with my wife after my son goes to bed. Other than that, my movies are random throughout the course of the season. We started, we celebrate Christmas in this house, and we started a tradition where like the kids get pajamas on Christmas Eve. Probably started 5-6 years ago at this point. And it's super fun because then we watch a new movie on Christmas Eve. And I've been really wanting to watch Jingle Jangle on Netflix, and we just didn't get around to it yet. So we're going to watch that one coming up on Christmas Eve. So I don't think we have like a traditional movie that we watch, but we definitely have a new movie that we get excited for. Ooh, that's a good one from Culty. The Nightmare Before. Oh no, the Night Before Christmas. How about the Nightmare Before Christmas? Is that a Christmas movie or is that a Halloween movie?
All of the above.
Yes. Yes, right.
It's a seasonal movie, and that season lasts from September until January.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun thing. Yeah, we do the hot cocoa thing too. So Dason X and my wife and everyone else who probably does that probably read a very similar blog, or if that's a family thing, kudos to you because maybe you started it. We found it on like, this is a suggestion, and my wife was like, we should do this, and so we started to do that.
Nice.
Yeah, crossplay, and we've played it. Sean talked about this, I think, yesterday, because Among Us out on Switch, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's a really ideal platform to play Among Us on, but we have been playing it on iPads and iPhones and things.
Yeah, I think I kept thinking about, but never pulling the trigger of getting it for Steam. But the way we play it, we typically are, at least a group of us are together. And so I don't want to like be like, all right, see, I'm going to go in the office and play it on computer. You guys have fun with your little toy phones. But the Switch is perfect. I have no qualms with sitting there with my Switch while they're on their phones. So I'll do that.
One other thing I wanted to add to that Cyberpunk conversation, because you can tell that this is there's some unprecedentedness to this, or it rarely happens-ness to this. But Patrick Klebeck, who is a reporter for Waypoint on Twitter, just was going off on a thread being like, I can't think of a similar event to this. Cannot imagine what the behind-the-scenes phone calls between CD Projekt Red and Sony were like. This just doesn't happen. I'm putting some inflection here. It was really just a written tweet, so I can't tell you what it's supposed to sound like. Sony did not want to offer refunds because the game wasn't faulty. It was still on the store. In order to allow refunds, the game then needed to be faulty, but a faulty game can't continue to be sold. And so here we are. Someone did compare it, and you both might know more about this, or someone in chat. No Man's Sky, apparently when it released in 2016, there were a good amount of bugs, and eventually everything got turned around, and to the point where, didn't they just win like best ongoing game?
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, and part of the issue is it was buggy when it came out, but to kind of an expected level for a smaller studio. It wasn't broken. It was buggy, but it wasn't broken. The big issue with No Man's Sky is they made so many promises, and it was so hyped up that it was impossible to hit that level of expectation. And they eventually did. It just took them like a year and a half, 2 years to really get there. So it's kind of similar, because there was a lot of hype for Cyberpunk, but it's a lot more broken than.
Well, I think the same thing kind of happened was Arkham City, where when that came out, it was also really buggy, but that was the studio that pulled that. The studio pulled it, said, "Hey, give us a couple of weeks, we'll get everything worked out," and then they were good with it. And and I mean, they went through on all their stuff. But yeah, the hype around Cyberpunk, I think, is what makes this such a big deal.
A similar thing just happened recently with Marvel's Avengers. It came out and did not come in anywhere near meeting expectations, and a bunch of people were upset.
Be secure.
Hoffer saying, "Buggy Not Broken" is one of my favorite Taylor Swift jams.
Oh, they're behind us.
Just so you know, they got behind us.
That may have been my fault.
Oh, look, it's my
I don't want to fully own up to it, but I may have played a part.
Okay, you cleared it, it looks like.
We're good.
I got a trophy out on it. I'm just clearing it right now. Yeah, it's been an interesting saga with Cyberpunk. I mean, someone's gonna make a pretty fun documentary about it, and I don't envy anyone making something at all, especially something large scale during the pandemic, because it was so hard to figure out, you know, what you were gonna have to adjust to.
Yeah.
Behind us too.
Oh, they're on A.
I'm gonna go help with A. Oh, there's someone who just shot us right in the face.
Out of the killed me. That's for sure.
Oh, they're behind us again.
So Culty says this might even make Culty be done pre-ordering games.
Well, and with digital releases getting so easy, and Colty and I have specifically had so many conversations about digital gaming and going digital only and that kind of stuff. There is someone just trolling me, I swear.
I swear.
But with how much easier it is to go digital only in gaming, there's no reason to pre-order anymore. Because if you want it on release, you can buy it, day of and download it, and you're fine. You can wait until reviews come out so you can make sure it's what you think you're getting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Pre-ordering is going to be a thing that kind of goes away at some point, I'm sure.
And I think with the rise of microtransactions too, even if you pre-order stuff, you used to get like decentish stuff in pre-order things, but now it's just all cosmetic stuff that, you can buy at some point anyway.
Yeah. And even like special editions and stuff like that, if you want to go that route, a lot of special editions don't even come with the game anymore.
No. Yeah.
So if you want all the like collector stuff, you're good.
I think I stopped pre-ordering after Destiny 2, because that game was in the beginning was
upstairs at me.
There's a whole bunch of them, and they blew me up. So yeah, and you can kind of see like the differing opinions in Culty, and you did talk about this quite a bit, especially when we first started discussing next gen. I mean, the show's only been on since September, so it was still kind of, almost closer to launch than like announcement, right? But this idea of being able to have the game in hand, yeah, definitely is something that people are interested in. But we talked to Andy Euler from Marketplace on Monday's show, and that is on our Twitter, WatchGMS, or our YouTube channel. You can find that. In fact, I'll throw the YouTube out right now. But yeah, that's going to be this debate is like, is it just going to be changing consumer habits? Because we are so plugged in for so long to actually having the physical game, and that was kind of a fun thing. I mean, how much time have you and Aishan spent, especially with you moving, looking back through old cartridges and old systems and being like, oh, that was such a cool game, or I remember this game, or this was my first game, and it is nostalgic for sure. But business models change. I mean, we never probably expected that we could pick up a 65-inch television by ourselves, right? So, and that doesn't mean that, like, I think this is kind of Dason X where I can relate to you, and even Culty has the same stance, right? Wanting to have the physical copy as opposed to having a digital download is in sports. I really miss, I'm a season ticket holder to the Broncos, and it used to be you'd order your season tickets and you'd get this beautiful packet, and each ticket was in there, and you had something tangible. When you went to the game, you could come home with a ticket stub, and I have ticket stubs from when I was a kid all the way up until through as college, and then when tickets basically went away for a lot of things, and I was super sad about that. And so what the Broncos started doing is finding other physical things to complement it. So it almost makes me wonder if like pre-orders will become, pre-order your digital download, and you can redeem this coupon to get this totem or something at GameStop, because that was kind of Andy Euler's point too, right? Is they have to figure out a way to enhance the retail experience now. So maybe that's the.
I think one of the things though is that companies save so much money on not, they don't have to print as many physical copies as they used to. So now I think it's just, it's more cost effective to only print, 1 million games instead of 10 million or even 100,000. So what makes me nervous is that they're not going to put a whole lot of effort into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about the bottom line.
The good news, though, is there is some room, with merchandisers to be able to outsource that stuff too. So maybe there's a company that will come out that does a really great job making that physical, memorabilia that people will fall in love with.
I mean, honestly, that would be a great thing to help save, like GameStop, because GameStop is so in danger right now of closing. Because, I mean, with digital downloads, you don't need to go into the store, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of the example that Andy brought up on the show was GameStop specifically.
So maybe as GameStop develops something that you can bring to these studios and be like, hey, look, we'll take care of the overhead on this, and then you guys provide the game, and we have some sort of, agreement, and then you kind of go from there.
Well, and the model that I think I like the most for the future of retail, and it's not exclusive to video games, it could be for a lot of things, and Apple did a good job of this, but they're probably going to have to evolve as well, is that experience while in the store. And so maybe even it's something as simple as when you come to the store, you get like a coupon code redeemable for this, and the only way to get it, like Starbucks used to do this with Apple. You'd go into a Starbucks store and you could get a card that had like the day's iTunes download on it. As a non-music fan, most of my music on my iPhone actually came from those cards. So you'll get in the car and it'll start auto-playing, and people are like, You're into this song? And it's like, no, I just have a lot of random songs on my phone. Stick around, we got birthdays and this day in gaming history coming up. I haven't had a chance to say hi to Jen. Hi, JJL2000. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciated the opportunity of getting to host you the other day, so that was fun.
Dave Cynic says, if we lose GameStop, I will riot.
I am keeping GameStop in business.
It's kind of like CD stores, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, isn't that funny that we're talking about this and we just ran through the mall in the multiplayer mode and be like, oh, look at the record store, right? It is definitely a unique and fun experience.
I used to spend hours in Joe Nardone's Gallery of Sound.
That is a great name.
Through their used CDs.
That is a great CD store name.
It was a wonderful. Joe Nardone was a great guy. I don't know if I've ever met him before, but
I've had the same conversation, Culty, with Hofbrew about, like, Hofbrew has a ton of like physical things and really cherishes getting the physical thing. And part of it for me too is the environmental impact. Like, I'm okay not having the physical thing because I know that we're not making something that I technically don't need to have. And so in the moments where I can kind of choose to lessen the amount of things that I have that I didn't necessarily need, that's an area that I choose to do that. So no worries, Jen. I don't know if y'all were here when we raided JJL, but we get in there and I think it was a recommendation from someone in chat. they're like, Jen, talk, Jen. She's like, I am. Have you tried the new guns in Warzone? Have any of you used the Black Ops Cold War guns in Warzone?
I've used the Type 63. I mean, for me, I'm an aesthetics guy, and I think the new gun, I don't like how cartoony it is in this, but in Warzone, they're gorgeous.
Nice.
So they change, like they're noticeably different on the other side.
Just from the visual aesthetic of it, I mean, they just look more realistic than they do in this game.
That's crazy.
Like this, you're playing a video game with this one. In Warzone, I feel like they've spent a lot of time making sure that it looks good.
I do find
not to say that this doesn't, but
well, and I was saying this morning, like the mall in multiplayer, and then the game show in Gunfight. They're so colorful, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like it is visually appealing to me. All right. Oh, I ran out of ammo. That's unfortunate.
They're kind of fun too. There's a Miami Vice skin in the in Warzone.
Oh, and then I will shout out Dace Next too. I did offer to send us some coffee, so we will be taking you up on that offer. And yes, I will be getting you an address to send some samples too. So pretty excited.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I will be going to the post office later today to send you guys a present.
Aw, Mike, you shouldn't have. Victory! We are the best. So good.
I mean, I can return it, I guess.
I mean, you didn't have to, but now that you are, like, then you have to. Like, you've committed. It's Gaming Morning Show, 6:51 West Coast time in the U.S., 9:51 out on the East, and 2:51 to everyone in the UK. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. I am Ryan. That is Look, it's Mike O, and that is Sports.Gaming, otherwise known as Sean. We are with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, basically trying to mimic that vibe of the morning radio show that you may have used to listen to when you're really into FM radio and you were trying to record the songs on a cassette tape or something. I don't know. That might have been a really long time ago. But we play games instead of music in between segments. Coming up next hour, our interview with Dr. Jackson Ryan of CNET, but we usually also play a top 10 list as well. JJL, thank you for the host as well. We certainly appreciate that on Twitch. So we have the top 10 list usually in the 7 o'clock hour, or an interview. We're doing the latter today. We'll have sports coming up in the 7 o'clock hour as well. So stick with us. It is National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, National Underdog Day, Answer the Telephone Like Buddy the Elf Day, Arabic Language Day, National Twin Day, Bake Cookies Day, Roast Suckling Pig Day, and International Migrants Day. And we are asking...
National Pick a New National Day of the Day.
Let's keep adding to the days of the day. It is also Mandalorian hype on trending on Twitter. So if you've seen it, no spoilers. But was this like the best day of the Mandalorian yesterday with the season? I think it was the season finale, right?
Yes, it was the finale of the season. Okay,
so Disney Plus, no spoilers. Some have only seen episode 1, but you can give it like a 10 of 10 if you want to say it was that good. I'm going to give you... Do you guys want to know about L.A. Law or Gal Gadot after our birthdays and such?
I added something that we should talk about before I leave.
Okay, where am I?
At the very bottom of the other topics.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to refresh. I'll see that, and we will do that with Sean. Sean only can be with us for the first hour today. It is time for birthdays. If you have a birthday to celebrate, please throw it in the chat, won't you? We'd love to celebrate with you on Gaming Morning Show. Happy birthday out there this morning to some of the celebrities, including Steven Spielberg. The director turned 74 years old today. Other birthdays include Ray Liotta, turned 66. Are either of you two like big into like the mafia genre of movies?
I mean, they're good.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too. I'm not big into them, no, but I've enjoyed them from time to time.
Today, Liotta is 66. I always, this is a sports radio topic usually, but I've always failed on like, you haven't seen that movie? Because, I haven't watched that many movies. And it was always like Goodfellas and Unusual or Usual Suspects, I think was another one. The Godfather movies, I always got that. It was like, you haven't seen that? I'm like, I didn't watch many movies. I was busy watching sports, and now I watch too many video game streams. So, Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones turned 77 today.
He's only 77.
Right. How about Brad Pitt, 57, and still just gorgeous? Good work, Brad. Steve Austin, Break the Glass, turns 56, Stone Cold from WWE. That was like my heyday of watching wrestling with Steve Austin. Katie Holmes turns 42. Katie Holmes here, fun fact, regrets that she didn't choose Dawson in Dawson's Creek because Dawson had a creek and Pacey didn't. And it was the biggest and most awful ending to any sort of teen series of all time, and Ryan is still mad about it.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, sorry. Fair. Yeah, if you didn't get Dawson's Creek finished yet, that was the frustrating. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Steve Austin was very cool. My favorite wrestlers back in the day were DDP in the WCW world. I really liked Kevin Nash. The Rock came in and just wreaked havoc. So I don't know, why was it called Dawson's Creek, Culty? If he didn't have a creek, it was in the name. Maybe I watched Dawson's Creek much like I read a lot of books in high school. I watched it through the eyes of Cliff's notes. I think, wasn't it Mike? You said, "Hey, we always appreciated Cliff."
Oh yeah, Cliff. I don't know who Cliff is, but man, you are the real winner here. You are the hero of a generation.
It's the Big Show. I was going to. He has like a show on Netflix now. The wrestler Big Show.
So funny, real quick, funny story about the Big Show. He is an avid gamer. He loves gaming, and he played Destiny a lot when it came out. And one of the coolest things that's ever happened was through a mutual friend. I got to raid with the Big Show a couple of years ago. I don't know how they knew each other, but he's like, "Hey, we need a 6 for the raid," and I said, "Fine," and I hopped in, and sure enough, Mr. Paul White, the Big Show, was one of the guys in the raid. It was real weird.
Wow.
Does he want to come on our show?
I doubt it. We're not really friends anymore.
Oh man, you had a falling out.
Yeah, because he's really large.
Did you get choke slammed?
No. Luckily, he couldn't reach through my computer because that would have
I do have some breaking news coming in from the chat. Hofbrew19 said we'll probably go digital when I get a PS5. We have a commitment from Hofbrew to getting the PS5. This is big news on our side of things. So, morning, Vad. Thanks for hanging out. What's that?
Proud.
Proud.
Telling Hofbrew, I'm proud of him.
Should we shed a tear? Christina Aguilera. There's a lot of birthdays on today. Christina Aguilera turns 40 today. Ashley Benson, 31. Who else? Billie Eilish turns 19 today.
That's crazy to me.
That she's
only 19. She's already like a super mega billionaire mega star.
And deservingly so. Like, her music is so fun to listen to.
I'm a bad guy.
It's got quite a variety to it. Now, admittedly, like, my favorite radio station on Sirius XM that's music related is Alt Nation. So Billy got played a ton on Alt Nation, but yeah, I didn't listen to a single Billie Eilish song that was like I didn't want to keep listening to it. So all at 19, kudos to Billy.
Bananas. It's also DMX's birthday. DMX is 50 today.
Yeah,
50.
I remember listening to DMX quite a bit growing up. Angie Stone, recording artist, turns 59 today. Singer-songwriter Lyrica Anderson turns 32 today. Other birthdays or historical birthdays, Ty Cobb, the Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, had a birthday on December 18th, as did Ozzie Davis, best known for songs like, or films rather, like Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, She Hate Me, and Get on the Bus. Lived 1917 to 2005. Yeah, played some different parts in those films later in life. Yeah, 19.
History moment. And today, the Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated. That started World War I. Sorry, I love history. I'm a huge history dork. But yeah, it was kind of a big deal, you know, one of those.
You don't have to apologize for informing people. We are now getting ready to debut our history segment with Mike O in the 8 o'clock hour. So
this day in history.
We'll get you like a whiteboard or something like that. You can start charting things out. Yeah, 19. Alt Nation is such a great channel out there. Stop. Stop. Drop. Cut them down. Blow out the candles. Hey, Dacenex is a history dork along with you, Maiko, so you're in good company for sure. So
Dacenex, you're my favorite. No offense to anyone else.
Wow. Mike's picking favorites already. I love it. This day in gaming history, here's what happened on this date. In 1993, Enix released Dragon Quest I and II Remix that was out for the Super Famicom in Japan. 2000, Wolfson Microelectronics, this is from kpolson.com, announced that Microsoft has selected the company to provide the WM9709 audio digital to analog converter for the Microsoft Xbox video game system. I think we've gotten better at naming stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. You know.
Although, you know, you order, I just rebuilt this PC, a month ago or so, and I had to order all those parts, and I'm getting a Ryzen whatever, but there's, 400 letters behind it, so maybe they didn't get better at it. 2001, and we had Wallstormer in here yesterday, was a big Final Fantasy fan. This was Final Fantasy X, out for PS2, released by Square Electronic Arts in 2001.
All right.
Dacenex saying, teacher's pet right now.
Teacher's pet.
Vad, I am, again, I'm not a great music person, right? I don't have a deep knowledge, but most of the Weeknd stuff that I've listened to, I've enjoyed as well. And Weeknd has made some appearances in like collaborations too on Alt Nation, so I've heard the Weeknd that way. All right, we now to do this. We have to get to beer of the day in just a sec, but first Sean has to leave, so he's going to tell us about a topic. Wow, wow, go for it, man. This is all yours.
So I'm gonna post the link in the chat if you haven't already. You got. So McDonald's in China. And just yesterday we were talking about Oreos and how they make some really outlandish Oreos like wasabi and buffalo chicken wing. But those only come to the Asian markets. Well, speaking of the Asian markets, McDonald's China has a Spam and Oreos burger. And it looks just as disgusting as you imagine it would. So go check that out in the chat.
I know some people who really love Spam. So
I love Spam.
Okay.
With Oreos.
Okay. But do you like Oreos?
I mean, separate, sure.
Sweet and savory.
No.
You sure? I like how you did. You write this?
I'm looking at the picture too, and no.
Did you write this, Sean? Blah blah blah. It seems, or is that the headline from wherever you found it?
It must have been from where.
So it says McDonald's China has a Spam and Oreos burger, comma. It seems. So,
no, yeah, that's how it was written from Kotaku.
See, Calty said he'd try it, so.
I may not try anything. It sounds disgusting, but I'd try it. Burger will go on sale in China starting December 21st and will apparently be limited to 400,000 Spam Oreo sandwiches.
Probably for the best.
Man, we are having quite no, for the most part, people are like, nah. Dr. Chick's right with you, Mike. Like, I love Spam, but with Oreos, I don't know. Vad's going complete trash.
I kind of agree with Colty, though. I might try it just for the sake of trying it, like if I had the opportunity.
Yep.
But no, I don't. It just doesn't sound.
Yeah, you probably have to try it if you're willing to try it. I mean, I love Oreos. I don't think I've ever tried Spam. It's the can thing. Like, if you probably had told me that what I was about to eat was called Spam and you had just already served it in like a sandwich or some other means, right? I would have been like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. But the fact that it comes straight from the can and is like in that solid form.
Yeah.
Have you never had canned chicken?
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, canned chicken isn't like you don't tip open the can and it's.
That's, yeah.
Right? It's almost like the equivalent of jelly cranberry. You tip it over the can, and it just goes... Right. I don't know about that. We'll get to Wonder Woman VAD in the next hour. In fact, we have some information about the one thing that Gal kept from the Wonder Woman 1984 set. That isn't coming out here until Christmas Day on the 25th of December.
I'm so excited.
I am, too. That's why I got my HBO Max set up. All right, we got to let Sean go, but before we do, it's the beer of the day. The beer of the day. Hey, look, it's the beer of the day. This is from our buddy Ron and his advent calendar from Corvallis Brewing Supply in Corvallis, Oregon.
We've got Honeycomb Hazy Farmhouse IPA. Ale brewed with honey. Honeycomb.
Honeycomb or comb?
Cone.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Is that like a mask?
No, it's a cute little bee face.
Oh, there's nothing cute about bees.
But this one's cute.
No. Pass.
Brewed by Wolves People Farmhouse and Brewery out of Newburgh, Oregon.
Nice.
Glowing hazy bright like high fresh gold honeycomb is a juicy nectar of pale pilsner and wheat malts. Pints of 100% pure raw wild honey. Tangy. There we go. Tangy. Prismatic aroma hops and a voracious mixed culture of wild Belgian and American IPA yeasts. It's a refreshing, hoppy, tiki bright buzz of flavor.
Really put you on the spot there, didn't it?
Yeah,
tangy.
I don't have to take a mispronunciation for you, right? That's just solely for me. Okay.
No, that word broke my brain.
All right, we'll let you be. Everyone say goodbye to Sean. He has to go do doctor stuff. Speaking of doctors, Digital Doc Games in the house. Good morning, Digital Doc Games. Thanks for hanging out with us. Vad, we are lucky. Our buddy Ron took care of us with that advent calendar. So, and a Yingling shout out from Dacinex. That was a good beer I've had on the East Coast.
That's my beer of choice.
All right,
Side of Miller High Life.
Everyone's saying goodbye to Sean. We'll miss you, Sean.
Bye, Sean.
Goodbye. Maiko's going to hang out with us for the rest of the show. Coming up, Jackson Ryan will hang out with us. You can see my mispronunciation counter right there. We have that coming up at 7:25. We'll talk about climate and the impact of next-gen consoles. We will have our sports for you, and we'll pay off that Wonder Woman 1984 thing that I teased a couple times. The prop that Gal kept with her from the set. It's all coming up on Gaming Morning Show. Thanks for hanging out with us wherever you may be on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at GamingMorningShow.tv. Back in just a moment on Friday, December 18th. Morning Gamer, Friday, December 18th, 2020. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. I am Ryan. That is Look, it's Maiko. Thanks for being with us. You can check out Season 3 of Monsters and Friends pod coming up shortly. Thanks to our buddy Maiko. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate hanging out with us on this Friday. How are you doing today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic, sir. And yourself?
I'm doing all right, I think. Doing pretty good, all things considered. Excited for our interview coming up at 7:25 a.m. Pacific time. This morning, we're going to talk to Dr. Jackson Ryan, which, by the way, love the Twitter, shortened it to Jack Ryan, which I had to kind of do a double take before I invited him onto the show. I was like, wait, am I about to talk to somebody? Oh my gosh, this is going to be cool. But excited to have Dr. Jackson Ryan join us talking about climate change and some of the climate impacts generated by some of the new gen consoles. Thanks to everyone who's hanging out with us in the chat. Appreciate everyone on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. And big shout out again to JJL2000 for the host this morning on our Twitch platform. Dasonex said this to Digital.Games, and I will echo it too. I've been trying to give as much thanks to healthcare workers, everyone who has had to work in that essential category over the course of the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months. I really don't know at this point. But across the world, everyone who has helped keep us safe, we are certainly appreciative, and thank you from Gaming Morning Show. So we have the interview with Dr. Ryan coming up. Sports later on this hour. We'll still pay off this LA Law sequel and who it is starring coming up shortly. And as we continue to talk about The Mandalorian, no spoilers. Do not let us know what happened. But if you can give us like a rating, right? Like Maiko is saying, so far so good. Everything about it has been pretty top notch.
Absolutely. This season has just been fantastic. The first season was very good, but this season they've kind of really went above and beyond, I think, what you would expect from I don't want to say expect from a Netflix show, but I mean that's what you would expect from a Netflix show. So they've shown that even these like smaller shows can be done with a pretty good sized budget and make some pretty fantastic things. I know it's on Disney Plus, not Netflix, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, I'm excited to maybe at some point watch it, but I haven't actually seen it to this point. So I never really just got deep into Star Wars. So David Fio. Oh, that was the other guy. So there was a ton of love this morning for Jon Favreau. But the other guy getting a ton of credit was David Filoni, I believe. So Digital Doc, again, good job, no spoilers, but saying basically every David Filoni show really ramps up in the second season. This is from BuzzFeed. It was written by Evelina Medina. And it was about Gal Gadot, the star of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, which is coming out on Christmas Day, at least here in the United States. Basically asking what was a prop or something that she saved from the show, and this is a quote from it on Instagram saying, "I don't usually have movie memorabilia lying around my house, but this one is so special for me, I just had to put it on display. I won't spoil it for you, but it's a symbol of strength, of legacy, of hope, and I love having it with me to remind me of all of that." She saved the Golden Eagle helmet from one of her Wonder Woman. Would it be a costume, an outfit, a uniform? I don't know how you term what a superhero wears.
I mean, it's I don't know.
Batman wears
a suit.
Yeah, a suit from the Wonder
suit,
Woman
right?
suit. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The gold.
Think of the word.
Well, and then of course, Ryan, just read Golden Eagle armor. In this case, is what they were talking about. For more than a year, people have been looking forward to seeing the armor in action, and many fans believe it is inspired by the Golden Eagle armor from the Wonder Woman comic books. So,
yeah, I wonder if it's the full suit, or if it's just if she can get the full suit if she wanted it, or if she could. Like, I wonder how that works. Do you just like sneak it and steal it?
You like as far as like keeping stuff from the set?
Yeah. Like, I know she says she kept the helmet, but like, can I get the whole thing? You know, like, haha, it's mine now.
This is so cool. But can I have the whole thing? Seriously, like,
I sweat in it. It's mine.
I wore this. This is mine. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good point. And I've heard like different movie stars have kept different things. Like some have been able to keep a car. I want to say in Entourage, you remember the opening credits? They had that convertible that had the swinging doors.
Yep.
So I think someone got to keep that from that show. So Vad's saying this year it's HBO fans versus Disney Plus fans. Who will win the streaming war? Find out in a world.
All of us.
True.
I mean, honestly, I'm excited for the Justice League Supercut. I'm excited for Wonder Woman. I mean, there's so much coming out that's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, I killed the chat on the screen. Let me bring that back in.
Killed it. Digital Doc says though, my friend just texted me, "Stop what you're doing and watch Mando." See, I'm not alone. Docs, I don't know if you were here before, but I woke up this morning at 7 a.m. to a text from a friend that said, "Have you watched the season finale yet?" 7 a.m. So no, I had not yet watched it, but yeah, apparently it's that. One of my friends on Facebook said it took my breath away.
Took my breath away. Pretty much sounded exactly like the real thing. It's probably gonna be a DMCA right there.
I thought it was a recording.
So Dr. Chick, I have this problem too in trying to watch things together with my wife, and it is very much because of the fact that she is a night person and I am a morning person. So the only thing I found that I can really do after like 9 p.m. reliably is hang out with friends or play games, because otherwise I just fall asleep. I'm very good at falling asleep. It is a gift. I am thankful for it. I can drink a full 4-shot espresso and go woo, and then like be asleep within 15 minutes. So I'm very appreciative of that talent. But I have done that before, where it's like, hey, really kind of want to watch this next show. Well, we can't tonight, but I really want to, please. And I just kind of throw it on my phone.
There's a limit though. That's the thing. Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, we'll watch it, tomorrow, and then just not watch it. That's no bueno. Especially when it comes to a show like The Mandalorian. I mean, if it's like House Hunters International, which I wouldn't watch anyway, but like then that's one thing. Or like The Voice. My wife loves The Voice, and she likes watching it with me. I don't actually like the show, but I like making my wife happy.
Yes.
So I'll do that.
Well, that's like why I've watched every episode of Gilmore Girls I've ever watched was because, I was trying to be kind.
Yeah, sure.
The only thing that I love about the Gilmore Girls is the writing. I like the witty banter. They're very, very good in that respect. So Vad, you have to remind me where you're from, because I know you've asked me this, some U.S. related things, but I haven't ventured out to a movie theater. Have you been to a movie theater since March?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Most of them aren't even open out here though. So that's the big thing too.
Yeah. I'm out in the Pacific Northwest. Mike's out in the Midwest. So yeah, very much so not even open. So, or if they're open with many restrictions. And that's where we talked about this in the first hour with that like possibility of reimagining the retail video games experience. That's also going to, I think, happen with movies. Is a lot of people have done some cool stuff opening like old movie theaters and making them a little more boutique-y.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see if there's more coming out with that too, where maybe more small movie theaters kind of get a little bit of a revival. And I gotta finish getting this. So.
I mean, honestly, sky is kind of the limit as far as what you can do. It's just going to be, what is most cost effective and what's going to make us lose the least amount of money.
I just got a giant smile on my face. Pib is in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. That is a stream worth watching, especially because I'm always in awe of musicians. We talk about Sean being a hashtag video game expert. We talk about Sean being a doctor. Sean is also a very talented musician. He used to play in the marching band for USC and can play several instruments. And on Mondays, Pib, yes. I mean, again, you have to understand the thing I'm up against here, Mike, is we're brothers-in-law. And my wife married a guy who talks decently on the radio and can describe sporting events in real time. Her sister married a doctor, musician, handyman, basically. So, you know.
And to be fair, he's a chiropractor, so.
Hey, don't, you can't do that
I'm
to
kidding.
You can't do
told
that
Sean
to
this-
him when
I
he's
told-
not here. Oh, you got to say that to his face.
I told Sean this morning he's my favorite kind of doctor.
I mean, after all,
Chiropractors
he
have
completed
saved
a
me many
weekend
times.
seminar. Okay, so become a chiropractor, all you gotta do is that weekend seminar. He finished that thing. Okay. No, I'm just messing with you. That's the other joke about chiropractors.
I'm in.
That he did.
I'm in.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we got so much stuff to catch up to too. And stick around, that interview with Jackson Ryan coming up. But Pib, I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for hanging out with us on Gaming Morning Show. Yeah, renting a theater. So I did see that as like some of the big theaters. I want to say AMC was the one we read on the show, where you could rent out a whole theater starting at like $99, and that would be super fun if you could find enough people to make it worthwhile. But you know, $99 if you even got 10 people is not bad. Even if you got 7, that's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. See, I still wish that you could rent out theaters for, like, the Super Bowl and...
You might be able to
Stuff like
soon, to
that.
be honest. So.
Yeah. Well, it's the rights thing that's the issue, right? I mean...
Oh, true. True. Well, maybe they negotiate that kind of stuff. Because the one thing that I've always wanted to do at a movie theater is they do the big events. Like you could watch like a UFC fight or a Broadway play or something. I would be interested in doing one of those for sure. I do want to give a shout out. Sean hopped in the chat, and this is Formula One news. So if anyone's a Formula One fan, definitely put your hand up. We get up, you know, sometimes as early as 4 in the morning to watch Formula One races live, and Red Bull Racing just signed Sergio Perez and is no longer going to go with Alexander Albon. For those who aren't familiar, there's 2 drivers per team, and one of the best drivers in all of Formula One is Max Verstappen of Red Bull, but he really hasn't found a sidekick, if you will. And so the idea is Sergio Perez, who won a race, which was really cool because it was like the first Mexican racer to win a Grand Prix for like forever. Wasn't it in the 90s? I mean, I need Sean to let me know. But
Yeah, I don't do the race car thing, so I don't know. Sorry.
if you rent alone, you can have any seat that you want. True. Trying to capture this bee. We kind of put a little butt kicking on him in that first one, didn't we?
Oh Jesus, yeah, we did.
like
Well, one
137.
team was playing team deathmatch, so
I was looking
that's
at
the one I hate that about domination.
Yeah.
Is you have the TDM people, like this guy is just standing next to B.
Oh yeah, so Vad's from India, yeah, for sure. So hopefully, is everything going pretty well, COVID related in India? I hope that everyone's as safe as they possibly can be right now. I mean, that extends to everybody. You know, I've talked a lot on the show about how tough the pandemic has been for the social extrovert in me, but every day I just kind of try to be happy that, you know, so far I'm happy and healthy. And did find out a friend of mine in Montana thinks that he might have been patient 0 for COVID in the state because had gone to Arizona that like 2 days before everything kind of got shut down in mid-March and didn't feel great, and then had 2 coworkers come down with COVID, but he would get tested and he'd always not have it, and he'd have to quarantine and all that stuff. And so finally went to the doctor the other day, and he has the antibodies. So he thinks.
Can you put that on a like on your resume?
A patient 0 within the state. Yeah, that's something you could talk about. So anyway, wishing everyone happy, healthy, and as good of a holiday season too. I know that it's gonna be harder to get with families and such right now, so hopefully everybody has a chance to do that. Yeah, we have the same kind of restrictions, Dr. Chick, is anywhere that you go that is still open to the public. There's usually a limitation to how many people can be in the space and those kind of things.
It does vary state by state, though. Like in Indiana, we're not very cautious about anything, really. There's not a lot of limitations. I know Florida is kind of the same, where Florida, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Hey Pib, if sorry to cut you off, I want to make sure before Pib might have to cut out, and I don't know if you do at all, but can you please tell us kind of your stream schedule too? And I haven't built you a shout out yet. I haven't built one for Dacenex. I will shout out Culty again, and I will shout out Dr. Chick because I haven't done that yet either. And then, of course, Maiko streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so playing some Call of Duty Warzone or...
Don't forget Saturday.
Oh, you're doing Saturdays, too. Excuse me.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Is Saturday a night stream, too, or are you doing more in the daytime?
Yeah, no, they're all night. Okay. They're all night streams. I have 5 kids, so trying to stream during the day outside of this is very difficult.
Just so you know, it's not necessary to shoot at your teammates in Domination. You can just go and acquire zones without having tried to take a shot at a teammate. Just want to point that out. I love the community you guys are building here. No, see, okay, and this is where we got to be transparent. So many of you have come from the likes of Kiki Low and Copia and Dr. Chick. Dr. Chick is in every single stream that I've ever been to now. So, I mean, if you want to find an A-plus stream supporter, Dr. Chick is the tippy top right now. So all we're trying to do is have fun for 3 hours, talking about things that are going on in the world, and including this interview coming up. I'm really excited. Interviews are one of my favorite things to bring to the show, and we went from having, I think, 3 straight weeks of not having an interview to having 3 this week. So big thanks to Benjamin Frisch, who joined us on Wednesday from Slate. Andy Euler from Marketplace joined us on Monday. And right now, I will get to our interview for today. 7:28 West Coast time, 10:28 on the East, and 3:29 for everyone hanging out with us in the UK. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. We are on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at GamingMorningShow.tv. Big thanks to everyone who's followed on the platforms, including Dom V. Smith TV, following us on Twitch yesterday. Look, it's Maiko. We'll talk more about what he's up to, including Monsters and Friends podcast in just a little bit, but we got to get set up to bring in Dr. Jackson Ryan, and we'll do that right now. Stay tuned with us. Gaming Morning Show interview in just a minute. All right, Gaming Morning Show continues. Thanks for being with us as we are set to talk to the science editor at CNET. Let's welcome in Dr. Jackson Ryan to the program. Appreciate taking the time to join us today and talk about this story. This is about the next-gen consoles, which have kind of been a topic, right, for months and months and months. But you brought us a different perspective looking at the idea of energy consumption and kind of the impact on energy that these consoles are going to have. The headline is PS5, Xbox Series X, and Climate Crisis Facing Next-Gen Video Games. So let's start with kind of where you predicted that there would be more energy consumption. And now that we're finally starting to see these systems out in the world, what you found. What did you learn about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, I guess, long time in the making, and it's really great. The first thing to say is it's really great that the consoles are out and that I was able to do this kind of with not necessarily the backing of Microsoft and Sony, but at least with them sending sort of review consoles out to do it with. The tests are on the final product, but essentially what I wanted to do was look at how energy consumption in the new consoles, I guess, kind of reflected their environmental impact in this one very specific way. And product use is, at least in home consoles, is the sort of biggest generator of carbon emissions. So I wanted to use energy as a proxy for carbon emissions. Now, there's a huge caveat there, and that is that, you know, for where you are in the world, your energy mix is probably different to where I am in Australia. Like, it's probably not that different, perhaps, for you and I. But for instance, in Canada, they have hydro, they have nuclear. Down here where I am, we use brown coal a lot. But in Tasmania, further south, they use hydro entirely. They're completely renewable there. So if you're playing a home console in Tasmania, you're not generating any carbon. But if you're doing it where I am, then you are. And that's kind of the one big caveat about all of this research, is that it kind of depends on where you are in the world. But I still think doing the energy use and getting the data gives you a really clear understanding of potentially how home consoles might affect the planet.
There's one line that stood out to me, and we'll link the story in the chat and through our Twitter and such, but you wrote, an hour of play in Spider-Man Miles Morales is equivalent to charging your smartphone 18 times. And for someone like me who doesn't have an analytical brain, doesn't think in a science means, that was a really good equivalency for me, because I can think about how often I charge my cell phone, and then to do it 18 times more really put it in perspective for me. That doesn't seem insignificant when you look at it from like a piece of electronic equipment versus another piece of electronic equipment. So what do you think we should be mindful of? You look at that gap between the PS4 and the PS5 was roughly 7 years from release. What do you think we should be mindful of when you look at next-gen consoles over the next 7 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the Miles Morales equivalency is kind of a really interesting thing to look at when you don't have an analytical brain, and it's interesting for me as well, because I didn't come at this with any sort of idea that it would, like, I assumed it would be higher, but if it wasn't, I'd be happy, and I'd be thankful, because that would suggest to me that the manufacturers are driving energy use down and improving efficiencies, and that's really where they have to go in the next 7 to 10 years. Like, if we talk about climate change and the climate crisis, this decade is really the most important one for sort of arresting our carbon output, and video games have to play a part in that. And I guess to come back to the Miles Morales example, while that does seem significant when you compare it to a smartphone, perhaps if you compare it to a fridge, it doesn't. So we've got this kind of this situation at the moment where we don't really understand how much our consoles are using in comparison to our other appliances, and the best thing to do, the first thing to do, should just be to give us that data and say, consumers, this is what you're getting when you buy a console, this is how much energy it's going to use. And it's important for consumers because it costs money. And if consumers can say, oh, okay, well, actually, if I buy this console, I'm going to be spending an extra $30, $60, $90, $100 a year, or whatever it is, on my power bill. I think that's the most important thing, because that's where what consumers care about right now. They don't necessarily care about the environmental footprint of these consoles.
We're talking to Jackson Ryan about this article for CNET, just looking at next-gen consoles and energy consumption. And because we're at PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and this next iteration of these, and everyone's excited about them, everyone wants to play them, no one can get them in stock, I kind of see this having no end in sight, in the sense that there's really no reason, unless something changes dramatically, that maybe Microsoft nor Sony's going to make another one, correct? So I see this idea of, like, can this be sustained? Like, who has to sacrifice? How can gaming be sustained if energy consumption is continuously just going to go up?
Yeah, I mean, it's another great question. And the idea that energy consumption will continue to go up is, I think, we can kind of maybe not lock ourselves into, but we can sort of say that's probably what's going to happen if there is a PS6 and an Xbox, whatever they call it. That's really confusing and no one understands. But if that is the case, if energy does go up, well, then we've actually got to really start thinking about how our infrastructure works in different places around the world. Like, as I was saying before, about different energy mixes. We're actually going, like, it's not necessarily that it's on Microsoft and Sony to make their consoles more sustainable. It is. They should do that. But there's also wider social issues. There's wider cultural issues. We need to really address this from all angles. And I think one of the major points, and I get a lot of abuse when I write stories like this, is that because it's seen as if I'm trying to stop games. I don't want to stop games. I play games. Why would I want to stop games? It's just that we at least need to recognize that there's something here. And hopefully, if we recognize it and point it out, then the companies like Microsoft and Sony will say, all right, there is an issue, and it's important to consumers. So we want to change our tact, and we're going to do that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from when I write these things. Not take our games away. We don't want to play games. They're too dangerous for the planet.
I did notice that it looked like BRs and potentially maybe cloud gaming could also be a little more energy intensive, while your indie games actually were kind of a bright spot. It seemed like, at least in some of the comparisons you did. What do you attribute to with the BRs and cloud gaming potentially having that energy consumption increase?
Yeah, it's really important when looking at energy use to look at different games and different forms as well. And I think that's one of the things that maybe has been lost a little bit in the journey now, because we're talking about kind of the next generation. And what's the next generation from here? Will it be a lot of cloud gaming, a lot of streaming games? Will there be different platforms that we use? And if cloud gaming's worse, then should we be maybe we should be trying to build another home console that is better and more energy efficient. So I think the indie titles comparison is another good one. With what I tested was Dead Cells. Dead Cells, I'm sure what watchers and listeners know, like Dead Cells is a 2D sort of side scroller roguelite game where the comparison between, say, playing it on the Switch and playing it on the Xbox Series X isn't huge because of its aesthetic. Like, it looks pretty much the same, even if you have super 4K pixels on one and 720p on the other. It still looks beautiful because that's how it's designed. And if you look at how much energy it's using on the Switch, it's kind of 10 times less than what it's using on the Series X. So where does that 10 times extra energy come from, and why is it important to bring that down? That's kind of the questions I want to ask. Like, we should ask Microsoft or Sony why it has to be 10 times higher. Is it because of background processes on the console? Is it anything like, is it to do with things that are happening in the background? If so, can we tamp those down? And then everyone's playing Dead Cells with sort of much less energy consumption / how much carbon they are emitting. So I think indie titles, yeah, we definitely should celebrate them. And potentially they're a model for us to say, well, we can still make great experiences even with energy efficient development and code. And I think that's a really important point when we look to the future.
All right, you said it. You're a gamer. What are you gaming on right now? What's got your attention?
I'm also a journalist and have no time, and I'm a science journalist. So I've been writing about the coronavirus since January 9, I think. That was the day it first sort of hit for me. I'm looking just over now. So I've been playing Fallen Order with Xbox Game Pass, Jedi Fallen Order. So I feel like maybe I'm a year behind. But Dead Cells, actually, the reason I tested Dead Cells is because I came to it very late. I only came to it sort of at the middle of this year, and I was, man, this game's really good. And I noticed that it was on all the consoles, so it provided that kind of perfect test platform for me. And I'm still playing it. So I legitimately go through Dead Cells, so I'm really excited for I think they've got a DLC coming out very soon. So yeah, that'll probably keep me occupied until the end of the year. And I haven't got into the new consoles yet. I've only been able to test them, so hopefully maybe next year I'll think about it. I mean, some people don't even want to buy them because of their energy use, and that's an interesting thing, but also they can't get them even if they did want to buy them because they're sold out everywhere. So.
Yeah, set up the stock alerts, and someday I will say kudos to you for keeping people informed about coronavirus. Hope everyone on your side of the world stays safe as possible, and certainly appreciate your time joining us this morning. Hopefully your stack of shame, as I've been told it's referred to, goes down as the months go ahead. Jackson, Ryan, thanks so much for joining us on Gaming Morning Show.
Appreciate it, mate. Thanks so much.
Fun interview with Jackson, and appreciate him taking time to join us on Gaming Morning Show. It is 7:40 this morning on GMS, Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Bring back and look, it's Maiko. Thanks to everyone who was active in the chat during the interview. And yeah, shout out to the sweater for sure. Man, that thing was pretty on point, don't you think?
I really hope he doesn't think that was like a really nice holiday sweater, and now he's gonna like look back and be like, "Oh, what terrible people."
I've seen worse for sure. Hey, Culty, thanks for hanging out with us on Gaming Morning Show. Be sure to check out Culty Vibes and the 45th Parallel podcast as well. No, Vad, and all of you had that dialogue during the course of that interview, and I think that this was just being willing to even consider the possible climate impact. Maiko, I know you text me, and I saw it while we were doing the interview. You know, there are some ways that this is slightly depressing, right? That I do care about environmental impact. I'm out here recycling as much plastic and different things that take time, and here I am, playing something that takes 18 times as much as my phone to charge. That's interesting to me.
Yeah. That's really that's why I texted you. I was like, oh gosh, this is so depressing. Like, is somebody my wife and I are both very. I mean, we taught environmental education for a number of years. Like, we're very involved. And then, and then he's saying that 18 times thing, and I was just like, oh gosh. Like, I hate to know what my whole stream setup here is doing.
Yeah, true. And Dason X had a good point. You know, not only is it about the cost, but the contribution, but at the same time, and Dr. Ryan did say this, not trying to stop games, trying to be sure to think about it. And I did read either in his article or somewhere else as I was researching, it might have been his prediction one that he wrote in April, this idea of looking at something through the lens of, you know, Microsoft and Sony. He said, you know, it's not like they have to take responsibility, but they should. And Microsoft, I think, is pledged to trying to be carbon neutral by a certain time, probably like 2030 or something like that. And so that's part of the process. I do agree with Vad, though. Vad had a good point at the top of the interview, talking about, like, is this going to be a bigger threat than other energy-consuming things around the world? Yeah, probably not. It's just something to consider. So
Yeah,
it was interesting.
every little bit helps and contributes.
I think it's worth being mindful of, and kudos to you, Mike, for having that environmental brain around you as well. So
What is this?
we
Newtown
have
holiday.
a holiday edition. So interesting. Fa la 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 la.
Very, very lighty.
All right, we got to shift into weekend plans. Let us know what you might be up to this weekend. Anyone doing something neat? How are you gonna make do if you're in lockdown or some other thing where you can't go out and about? Let us know. We do have to pass along some condolences. As good as The Mandalorian has been, and as good as that series has made people who love Star Wars fall in love with Star Wars all over again, there was some sadness apparently over the course of the week. Jeremy Bullock, who played the original Boba Fett, passed away at the age. Thank you. Passed away at the age of 75. So sad.
Well, sadly, you should definitely just celebrate his life, though. The guy brought a whole lot of joy to a lot of people's.
And that is the value. So I've always been in the entertainment space, and that is part of the reason why, is because, like, I like the idea of, you know, lightening people's load and taking their mind off things for a little while.
Yeah.
And our show will definitely bring in some more of the, you know, real world things like climate change, right? But
Coronavirus.
yeah, we've talked about coronavirus on this show for sure. But this will not only be the only things that we discuss. So
There's a lot more cool stuff out there.
Vad's gonna watch the pirated version of Tenet. Ooh, wine weekend though. Yeah, now you're speaking my language. Big wine fan. What else we got? Pib, what do you got going on? Finishing up Christmas. Are you writing and recording? What kind of, like, what's finishing up entail?
A Christmas-ish song. Ooh. I'm not very good with Christmas music. I love Christmas music. I'm not a big fan of newer Christmas music. Like, I have to listen to, like, Bing and, you know, all the older stuff.
Hey, hang in there.
I'm excited to hear Pib's Christmas-ish song.
Yeah, hang in there, Pib, for sure. Depression.
Open mind.
Depression and anxiety and mental health are super important, especially if many of your coping mechanisms might be out because of COVID. And this goes back to that idea of digital.games and having Sean on our show and being able to talk about some of those things too from a medical perspective is always great. So, and hopefully music is therapeutic for you too. You know, that's one thing that I found with video games and why I kind of got back into the realm is this has been great. I mean, we hadn't talked, you know, outside of social media. Yeah, I mean, Mike and I worked together 10 years ago at this point. So, you know, and it's been fun to reconnect. There's people I play games with now that, you know, I used to be friends with in college that we hadn't been hanging out as much since college was over. Yeah, no, and it's been tough. Like, I don't have a ton of anxiety nor depression, which I'm thankful for. But I will admit the pandemic and taking away all my social extroverted outlets have definitely made me seek out more therapy and coping mechanisms. So yeah, if you're suffering from that,
I don't know
big
if it's too realness or whatever, but that is something that I suffer from on a daily basis. I take medication for anxiety, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
You know, but finding those coping mechanisms and really sticking with them is super important. That's the big thing. So, yeah, making music, being creative, I found for me, that's kind of what started the whole the podcast. It was a great coping mechanism for me. And so yeah, be creative outlook, and you know, having that little bit of stuff there helps a lot.
We got weed going on in the chat too, so you know, use the tools available to you. Let's just put it that way. If you don't know, we made a Hallmark type movie over at our friend's Chris M. Yee's channel, a Mad Lib style. It's been major fun, and I'm finally getting time to work on the song that I'm making from scratch. How cool is that? I love it so much. Chris M. Yee, huge shout out. This goes back to that idea, you know, Digital Dot came in and said something, you know, I appreciate the community you're building here, and this is, you know, so much of Sean being willing to kind of help me out and get this thing going, and everyone else who's kind of contributed, Maiko giving his time to hang out with us in the guest chair for, you know, weeks now, and Chris sounds like in the Kiki Low Copia UK Europe side of things is a tremendous asset, and then has even helped, you know, I think I watched Princess Kate for the first time the other day. I think she's all in the community over there, and from Texas, right? So Chris sounds like a pretty amazing person, and so thankful to have that. I'm gonna debut it on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, and I want to make sure I give some shout outs here. Sunday, you have to be dead or in jail to miss this. And if you're in jail, break out. Yeah, I don't got my shout outs. My shout outs are all through the Restream side. But do check out Chris M.E. on Twitch. Here's a shout out to Kiki Low. Last Christmas extravaganza stream is this Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, because that's usually when I see those streams get started. So those who are maybe in the GMT and know exactly what time. But this last one is on Sunday. A lot of giveaways. A lot of we've seen, I think, Santa. We've seen a snowman in terms of, you know, cosplay, dress up type things that Kiki's been doing. Very good at that community building for sure. So encourage you to check that out. And then a week from now, actually not even a week from now, it's less than a week from now, on Tuesday, Copia is having at 7 p.m., and this one I do know is 7 p.m. GMT, Santa's Merry Marble Mania. They're going to be racing on the Marbles, I guess it'd be like an app, right? A Marbles app that's Twitch friendly, right? Twitch.tv/Copia, which is COP1A. And they're going to be doing that where every single race will have a prize. So check that out, 7 p.m. Tuesday, December 22nd, 7 p.m. GMT time. So, and that's twitch.tv/Cope1A. We aren't going to do a Discord server as far as I know. Now, when Nintendo hops in here in the 8 o'clock hour, and Nintendo has said might be some interest in back rolls hanging out with us over the course of the 2 weeks to close out the calendar year. He is definitely kind of my Discord expert. The problem that I'm going to run into, unless Maiko or Sean, or as we get mods and all that stuff, really want to run it for me, I don't know if I can manage it until maybe something different happens. You're going to do it?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have?
I run.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I run one like a kind of one for my stream, but we don't use it all that often just because I don't have a super active community yet at this point. But at some point, I will gladly mess with it.
I will say this. Here's one thing I am very interested in doing. Is there a way to have our show exist as a channel in someone else's Discord? And is that beneficial to them, first off? And second, is that something that is user-friendly for the people who want the Discord? Because I love this idea of more of the collaboration side of things, because that's just kind of my preference. I like collaborating with as many people as I can. And if that's the case, because right now I'm having a hard time managing all the Discords I'm in as a user, you know what I mean? It's a lot. And so I don't know what the best course of action. So Vad, though, I will promise if we get Discord news to share with you, we will definitely send that out. So stick around. We got some sports coming up. Let's see what else. Copious Christmas stream is going to be solid, and going to dress up as Santa on Tuesday as well. Kopi, I know, has community streams on Tuesday and Thursday, so worth a shout out there too.
Jeez, oh Pete.
What happened? I thought we had the lead.
Well, we went into the break down.
Oh, did we?
By a little bit.
Hey, take care, Vad, if that's you taking off for now. Thanks for hanging out with Long Time No See, for sure. Yeah, so let us know for sure, Pib. You can always even tweet us in at WatchGMS, and I will make sure to retweet that to get you some promo on that coming up too. And then I saw Digital Doc Games was in med school. Shout out. So I miss being creative. It felt like the color was just being sucked from my life. It feels really good to have a creative outlet again. I have this hypothesis that many people do kind of know what their biggest talents are early on in life, you know, or maybe they had a glimpse of it when they were like 6 or young, and then by means of different reasons, you end up going after something for a good reason, pays the bills, all that stuff. But one of your true passions remains something that you did when you were 6 or whatnot. And finding that balance and figuring out how to pay the bills while also maybe having that creative outlet and finding something that you are passionate about as a job, while still finding not sideways, but side, opportunities to stay creative. And I think Twitch and all the streaming platforms provide a pretty good way to do that.
Money does kind of screw a lot of things up.
Yeah, it does.
If I could just pay for stuff and with creativity, I'd be all set.
Yeah, and Digital Doc's doing some cool stuff for sure. So
yeah, there's a kind of on that note. There's a thing. If you Google next time, I'll just spend my money on drugs. It's really funny. It has nothing to do with drugs, but it's a guy who's like trolling an energy company. What is he? He's trolling somebody by saying he's gonna pay his bill with a picture of a spider, and it's really funny. It solidifies my life, though.
I got to work on getting you modded too, so that you can add links into the chat for sure. Shout out to Mike. He's been hanging out with us much over the last few weeks. You can look It's Mike O on Twitch and be able to watch him play some Call of Duty in the evenings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And then, as we talked about a couple of times, Monsters and Friends podcast, Season 3 coming out in January. For those who haven't learned, tell us about Monsters and Friends pod.
So the Monsters and Friends podcast is a podcast dedicated to the lesser-known cryptids, legends, and lore of the world. So you have Bigfoot, you've got the Loch Ness Monster and Mothman and all those kind of things. But those are only a couple of the mega stars, so to speak. There are a lot that don't get that kind of publicity. So the podcast is focused on taking some of the lesser known ones and kind of putting that out there. We have creatures like the Duerku, which is an 8-foot murderous otter from Ireland, and the Mongolian death worm, which is exactly what it says. And kind of talking a little bit about some, legends and lore. And currently, in our current season, we are traveling the United States, looking at the lesser-known legends, cryptids, and lore of each state in the U.S.
MNF Pod on Twitter. Be sure to check it out. Season 3 launches in January, and you can see more about Look It's Maiko in our chat. It is time for sports! Yesterday, there was a football game, and because Derek Carr left the game, the Raiders brought in Marcus Mariota. And so I was getting messages from everybody who is a Ducks fan letting me know that there were 2 Oregon football alum playing quarterback on each side of the Chargers-Raiders matchup last night. Ended up going the way of the Chargers. The Raiders lost the game in heartbreaking fashion. And as a Broncos season ticket holder and lifelong fan, there are a few things that make me happier. Smile. So congratulations, the Chargers' first AFC West win in like 2 seasons.
8 years. And Marcus Mariota, man, there's somebody who kind of fell off, huh? Right? I mean, I remember when he was drafted, everyone, as an Eagles fan, everyone wanted to Chip Kelly to sell the farm and draft Mariota and have him play in that super fantastic offense that Chip ran there. And but man, I always thought he was a great quarterback. I watched him play with Tennessee when they beat the Eagles a couple years ago on the very last play of the game, and he looked crisp. I mean, he wasn't a bad quarterback. He has to find the right coach, I guess.
Yeah, and that was kind of the feedback from a lot of the people in the Oregon realm is Marcus Mariota needed better coaching that fit his play style. Hofbrew is going to ask you, he already has, but I'm going to have you talk about it after sports. Do you focus on Tom Cruise on Monsters and Friends lore? I don't know if exactly what it is. Russia will not be able to use the name, flag, or anthem in the next 2 Olympics, according to the Associated Press. This is or at any other world championship for the next 2 seasons. The Court of Arbitration for Sport on Thursday have the 4-year ban proposed last year by the World Anti-Doping Agency in a landmark case that accused Russia of state-ordered tampering of a testing laboratory database in Moscow.
Shocker. It's weird. I remember the last Olympics with the what did they come out with? Just like they just had the the rings, right? Was that the big thing?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there was no national anthem. There was just they wore like blue leotards or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of catch the Olympics when they show up and remember them, 2 years later when it shifts from summer to winter or vice versa. So, although
curling.
We'll have, curling. We could tell you lots of stories about curling. The Sun Belt Conference Football Championship between Coastal Carolina, Louisiana, Lafayette was canceled on Thursday. There was a positive coronavirus COVID-19 test with Coastal Carolina. Star goalie Henrik Lundqvist will sit out the upcoming NHL season because of a heart condition. He signed with the Washington Capitals after 15 seasons with the Rangers. Chicago Blackhawks are going to remain the Blackhawks, and there is no sign of change coming anytime soon, according to the Associated Press. Speaking publicly for the first time since baseball's Cleveland Indians announced Monday they plan to change their name, Blackhawks CEO Danny Wirtz reiterated the same message the team shared this summer after lingering questions about Native American team names returned to the forefront.
Interesting.
NBA is going to continue to offer coaches challenges. What else is on this list? NBA Foundation has chosen the initial 7 recipients of grants for a newly created group. These groups are going to help with economic empowerment in black communities. There's a total of over $2 million in grants. Plans to create the NBA Foundation began in June and were finalized by the Board of Governors in August, according to the Associated Press. And that's enough for sports for now. I don't really have a whole lot of other things I want to share because it is already 8 o'clock on the West Coast, so we should take a break, come back with the final hour of Gaming Morning Show. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be. Hoffer was saying they were an Olympic athlete, I think. Olympic athlete in quotations. I watch football as often as I can, but I will admit, Dason X, I have watched fewer college football games this year because I am not working this year because our seasons were canceled. So I've been watching a lot of streams on Saturdays, so I haven't watched as much football for sure. Championship is tomorrow, and I'm already sweating. I don't know if you noticed Sean's USC jersey, but he opened the show talking about, as an Oregon, former college student at Oregon, he took some classes, doesn't have a degree, despite having 13 other degrees. Doesn't have one from Oregon, but has an undergrad from USC. So the USC-Oregon matchup is always like his least favorite day, let alone a Friday 5 p.m. Pacific time championship game. Not a big fan. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more. That is Look, It's Maiko. I am Ryan. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. No spoilers, but The Mandalorian, was it everything you wanted it to be over the course of Season 2? We'll talk more about that. LA Law in the news, Cyberpunk news. We'll have our Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming Re-News coming up next hour on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at GamingMorningShow.tv. It's Friday, December 18th. Back in a moment. morning, gamer! We continue on Gaming Morning Show 8:07 in the morning on Friday, December 18th, 2020. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at GamingMorningShow.tv. My name is Ryan. That is Mike O from Look It's Mike O on Twitch. We're asking about The Mandalorian today. It is our topic of the day because it kind of got everyone buzzing on Twitter. I love Mike. You were talking about all these people texting you. Digital Games in the chat was on there saying, you got to watch this right now. I don't know who Boss Logic is on Twitter. It just happened to be on the trending page. I don't have a clue. But this was something that I think echoes what you were telling me, Mike. I can officially say I'm finally back in love with Star Wars. I felt disconnected from it for the longest time, but now it just feels right again. The same feelings I once had are back in full force. Thank you, Jon Favreau, Disney Plus, and every single person involved. No spoilers.
I think that I would agree with that. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'll be honest. Marvel is more my bag. But I mean, if you did not grow up a Star Wars fan and The Mandalorian was kind of your gateway in the into this whole thing right now, I can't see how you wouldn't go back and watch the whole backlog of movies to get some of the background, because I think The Mandalorian happens after everything, and it's probably going to happen before whatever the next iteration is. So it's going to be a really good kind of middle ground. So, but I mean, I don't know how it wouldn't pique your interest. And then, of course, you have the Disney announcements of the 7,846.5 shows that they're going to put out for it. So,
there were so many. I was telling my wife about that last night. I was like, yeah, I mean, because we were logging through all the HBO Max content, and I was like, plus there's going to be all this other stuff from Disney Plus. And she's like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, they had like an investor call, and they've announced like the next 800 years worth of content that they're putting out. So
it's crazy.
It's coming. Don't worry. It's going to be there. Big thanks to Pib for following us on Twitch. You can as well. One thing, too, to the community, just because we've had such a consistent stream today, thank you for hanging out with us as we are 3 hours, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time on all the platforms, is looking forward to building out a Patreon. And what we want to know from the community is if you've ever subscribed to a Patreon from anyone, what are some of your favorite subscriber benefits to a Patreon? Because I'm really interested to see what we're going to do in that realm. We probably won't pursue any one platform's traditional route, and so because of that, I'm interested to see what we could do through a Patreon subscription and really bring value, whether it's collaborative too. I'm definitely interested in stuff like that, so let us know in the chat, or you can email us, gaming@morningshow@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at WatchGMS. The LA Law sequel, this is reported by Hollywood Reporter's Rick Porter. I love that Rick Porter works for Hollywood Reporter. It's so good. ABC developing a sequel to LA Law. Blair Underwood is going to reprise his role as attorney Jonathan Riles, also be executive producer on the project. Have you ever watched LA Law?
A little bit. I didn't watch it very much because that was not like a late 80s, early 90s kind of.
Sounds right to me for sure. This is where we need to have the crack research really team.
A big fan.
Yeah, I like law shows, courtroom dramas and those kind of things. Law and Order, the joke was always with Law and Order that if it came on while you were happening to be watching like TBS or something like that, like your next 3 hours were screwed, because the smartest thing that they did with the Law and Order syndication was was putting it on where there was no time between the end of the first episode and the start of the next one, and that just kind of kept you locked into it.
I'm sure, yeah, there's definitely some sort of like some very specified reason to that. I mean, that was never an accident. They do like the picture in picture. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And really small, they run the credits, but then they show the next one.
By design.
Law and Order, SVU9. Oh, I'm in the water. Okay.
Bump bump. Okay. Whoever designed a lot of these levels, these maps, had a thing for cars, especially Corvettes. I've seen it like 348 Corvettes.
This is a Blackout map, I believe.
Oh, is this a reboot?
I think this is a BO4, yeah.
Huh, how about them apples?
from like the 8 seconds I played the other game.
If it came on digital dock games, same boat as me. And that happens with a lot of TBS, you know, TNT type shows. Is they're in syndication, and it's like, I remember Die Hard 2. I haven't watched this for a while. And then you try to tune in for the whole duration of it being on.
Is there a movie that you can turn on no matter what part of the movie it is, and just you have to watch it no matter where it is?
There's several. Anything with Will Smith, for sure. Like, even if it's Wild Wild West, I will be watching that from start to finish. But Independence Day is my favorite movie of all times. But that one didn't get syndicated heavily. It never hit like the TBSs and the WGNs and those kind of places, unfortunately.
Which is weird.
So there's that. And then there is also kind of that movie, like I referenced, like the Die Hard genre, where I'm not going to put it on even if I have the Blu-ray or the DVD. Oh, there's a basketball court. Look at this.
You can shoot the basketballs and they move.
I'm not going to lie. Kind of what I'm standing in, if I ever had disposable income and land, I would want to have a caged. I'm getting shot. I'm telling you about this. I don't even care. They were shooting me in the back. I was looking at the basketball court. I'd want to have that cage and not a cement surface. So outdoor. If I lived in the Pacific Northwest, which I probably continue to do, something that's very good at like moisture wicking as a surface. But that's beautiful. Yep, on board with that.
Moisture wicking as a surface.
My auto mod is the worst. Won't even give credit to the creator of Law and Order.
Oh, I was just executed. That's awful.
I now am in the water. I think I found the water that you didn't realize you couldn't walk on. I thought it was like a shallow pool or something.
So did I. I ran across it and then sunk.
So it's like an infinity pool. So it's okay. You can't jump over here, right? Yeah, that's a restrict. Wow, that was
take
intense.
that, punk.
Stick around. We're going to play a community game coming up, Photo Complete, where we take a look at some of the most popular photos on Flickr, and we have to figure out book titles, music titles. Maybe there's a phrase that's in there. Our community game coming up either after this game or the next. Depends on how long this game takes. This says Arrowverse Veterans. I'm guessing that means like Arrow, like Green Arrow, or isn't there an actual show somewhere called Arrow right now?
Yeah, it's the Green Arrow saga. Yes, it was a good show, and then it kind of became not a good show.
Got it. There's a sniper. They are going to have the directors of that, or rather executive produce this particular LA Law reboot, Mark Guggenheim and Yuba Muhammad.
Guggenheim is great.
Kudos for you to actually know. Yeah, I'm not too much. Emmy winner Anthony Hemingway, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, is attached to direct and will also be an EP. Project comes from Disney's 20th Television, which produced the original series. So weird to hear Disney 20th Television.
Yeah.
I just
It's
popped.
Davis, right? He's made NYPD Blue, ER, 24, Alias, The Shield, and Deadwood.
We also had from our friend Sean, we had China McDonald's apparently going to go with Spam and Oreos for a burger soon. So if you've ever said, you know what I need some Spam and Oreos, you are in luck, because it's coming your way from McDonald's out of China.
Whenever I have Spam, I'm always like, what would taste so good with this? And it's always Oreos.
Always Oreos. Yeah, Oreos is the key.
Yeah. As an avid camper, I adore Spam. I think it's so good to have Spam and eggs in the morning.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And it keeps really well because it's in a can.
Are we talking tent camping or RV camping?
Tent camping.
Nice.
Like real dude camping.
My favorite thing with camping is there someone who said, oh, I thought they said a sentry up in a corner of like a room, so everyone who came in was just going to get blasted. I love camping with people who are good at camping. I am not good at camping by myself because
That's fair.
I am not good with the fires. I'm not good with the cooking. I'm not good with. I can set up a tent pretty well.
That's a teammate.
But I love going with other people who absolutely love it because it's super fun. I enjoy camping. It's just look at me for those Apex players are out here. Me trying to hop up on top of this building. I mean, this just looks like something that's just begging to be jumped on.
Yeah.
Now, look, it's Mike O, unlike my buddy Sean, has downloaded and
Yes.
I believe installed
I
Apex.
have. I have not yet played it. That's the next step.
Well, I was thinking even next time that Sean has to take off early, maybe that's our on-stream is a crash course into the Apex ways for Mike O.
Yeah, I'm down.
It's like an arcade and workout
Oh,
room.
Gosh.
What a
That was the
space.
end.
All right, morning gamers. 8:18. Thanks for hanging out with us. 11:18 on the East. What'd you find out at the end there?
I was the last blown up guy.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's all good.
You were literally the final blow up. Blowed up.
Blueies, like I got hit by a grenade. Yeah.
Hey, it's Tracer. Thanks for hanging out with us, Tracer. Appreciate you stopping by Gaming Morning Show today.
Morning, Tracer.
Topic of the day has to do with Mandalorian. No spoilers. Everyone's done a great job today. Dr. Chick should be so proud of us for not spoiling the end of Mandalorian Season 2, but it happened last night, and everybody is talking about it on the Twitters. So we've been talking about it here, too. Maiko gives it a big thumbs up. We will have our Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming Renews coming up, but some of the saga continues with Sony removing Cyberpunk 2077 from their store and offering refunds to customers. Like I said, we'll get into the news part of this, but my favorite Twitter thread came from Patrick Klepek, a reporter from Waypoint, saying, "Can't think of an event similar to this. Cannot imagine what behind-the-scenes phone calls were like between CD Projekt Red and Sony. This just doesn't happen. Sony didn't want to offer refunds because the game wasn't faulty. It's still on the store. In order to allow refunds, the game needed to be faulty, but a faulty game can't continue to be sold." And so here we are. It just felt like a real-time tweet fest, trying to figure out what to say about this whole thing.
Yeah, it's so crazy to see something like that happen. To have a platform, like I said, with Arkham City or Arkham Knight, whatever Arkham one, the developer pulled it to fix it, and now the developer's like, nope, not my fault. You should have made a better system. Like, how do you even argue that? Like, your game sucks.
Yeah.
You need to fix it.
We'll do our community game after this game of Team Deathmatch. We're playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Gal Gadot did save the Wonder Woman 1984 Golden Eagle armor helmet. That was the one thing that Gal took from the set, according to BuzzFeed staff Evelina Zaragoza Medina. Saying Gal did, "I don't usually have memorabilia lying around my house, but this one was so special to me, I just had to put it on display." And it is like, I think back in the day, you used to have something that was in your house for a statement piece or something, like a talking piece or something. It is pretty good looking to have, be in your home. So,
has she won any awards though? Because I feel like you'd put those up there too, right?
maybe that's what's going to replace the Golden Eagle armor, is the first Oscar or something down the road. So, yeah, Tracer, I have never been a huge Star Wars fan. I've watched all 6 of the original movies. I have not watched any of the new Disney created movies. Like, I think that's like The Last Jedi and those kind of things, right? The ones with Rey. I have not seen any of those yet. Oh, it's Team Deathmatch. I'm sitting here trying to hold a checkpoint. Like, why is nobody coming? Oh yeah, I'd switch the game mode.
FaZe Offset, is that like a famous person?
FaZe is an organization, but there's also a lot of people who put FaZe in their clan tag just for funsies. So,
Gotcha.
I
may have run too far. I'm sorry.
I imagine the people that we would play in our lobbies would. I don't think we get mixed with too many PCers, but I could be wrong. So.
I get blamed a lot by our friends group because as much as I say I suck at this, I'm actually fairly okay. And whenever we start losing, I'm usually the one, Birdman and myself, Bird, who isn't here, we usually get the blame.
Yeah, I will admit that this is one of the reasons I talk, is because I'm not very good at video games, and so you will never find high quality gameplay from me, and therefore we are trying to be upfront with that. Yep.
Yeah. That's why you're entertaining, so that's the important thing.
I don't know about that. But I love having people who are entertaining on the show, so that's what I focus on.
I shot you.
I fell asleep during the second movie. I talked about that earlier, Tracer. That's one of my favorite gifts. I have been blessed, at least through the first, 40-ish years of my life, to be able to sleep almost no problem. Like, fall asleep, stay asleep. I am very thankful because, like we talked about earlier, it's tough when you're battling, mental health. You have depression, anxiety, those kind of things. And sleep, as far as I understand it, and we got, real doctors like Digital Doc Games and Sean, who could probably actually say something. But I think sleep is pretty essential to a lot of life. So I read the other day that elementary school kids, I have a 9-year-old in my house, they're supposed to get between 9 to 13 hours of sleep. Could you imagine getting 9 to 13 hours of sleep still? Oh, that'd be amazing.
I feel like I'd be in the hospital if that was the case. Like I don't have the opportunity to sleep that long. Like 6 hours, I'm like, yeah, that was a quality night's sleep.
Dason X saying hi to Tracer. I love all y'all who know each other. And thanks for hanging out with us on Gaming Morning Show, making us part of your day. One thing we're working on too, and I've brought this up a couple times, but in the world of radio, you always reiterate. It's called a reset, in case people are just joining you, because most people listen in small increments. That's it. If that drill press was a bad guy, down.
You super dead.
Toast.
Gotcha.
But we are planning on trying to open up what we call a 5-question segment, more of a looser, less formal interview. If you were here in the 7 o'clock hour, we talked to Dr. Jackson Ryan, science editor for CNET, and we talked about climate change and next-gen consoles, so more of a heavier topic, right?
It makes you feel really bad.
yeah, by playing games, you're ruining the Earth. By the way, that was not the consensus.
It's not, no, it's a joke.
It's like, I'm going to watch that interview and be super, super angry. You might be, but, there's things you can do about it. 5 questions will be more of like lighthearted, fun, especially we'll have content creators and streamers on for that segment. It'll be in the 8 o'clock hour. In fact, it would be right now, which, by the way, we got to hold on. Google Feud is coming up next. And so Copia is the first person I'm going to reach out to because we're having Copia's Christmas Marble Madness Mania. Actually, technically Santa's Merry Marble Mania. 7 p.m. GMT on Tuesday the 22nd. And I believe that's around 11 o'clock our time in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. And going to have a prize after every single marble. And I believe our source on Copia, DaceNex, told us that, or maybe it was Dr. Chick, told us that there's going to be a full-blown Santa costume. So, can't miss that. So.
Oh, and I died too. That was nice.
And so Copia doesn't know that, but I am going to invite Copia in on Monday for our show and see if we can talk about things going on. Talking to a couple other streamers too, and hopefully my biggest ask of the community that might be joining us right now, if you have streamers that we should have on, definitely let us know. We would love to know, those that we should invite who might have a lot of fun doing that kind of segment. And you can always hit me up in any of the Discords that y'all are in, because I'm probably in them too.
There's this really awesome streamer that we should look into. He's very handsome and has a wonderful beard.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
His name is Mike.
Oh, never heard of him. He sounds like an amazing dude.
He's if you watch his stream at night, you'll be like, wow, that guy has a sexy beard.
Hey, good morning, Nintendo is here. Thanks for being here for sure.
Nintendo.
Oh, so DaceNex has insomnia. I don't know much about what that's like, other than my understanding is you don't sleep much, right?
Awful.
can never get into like any sort of form of like REM or anything like that, right?
Nope. You're always tired. You're always grouchy. Not really grouchy, but you're just tired.
Well, and as we've talked about, being tired can make you,
Grouchy.
not yourself, right?
Yeah. Oh, that last one sucked. I'm gonna blow myself up by accident.
Hey, go find that drill press, though. This is kind of a...
evil drill press.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? This is kind of a big map for deathmatch, in my opinion.
See, this is the size map I enjoy.
Even for this mode?
Yeah. It gives you enough lanes to get through without just being a constant bombardment of poopy caca. You know?
That was poetic.
Well,
Grouchy,
it's
no.
a family show. I can't say the other word.
Well, you brought a lot of pleasantness to our stream, Dason X, and because you are the source of coffee, too, that is more of a literal statement in both supply and personality. So thank you for being here. Quote, 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 poopy caca. Nintendo, I am so glad it's Friday, too. Be sure to check out Nintendo. Next stream for them coming up on Sunday. We have asked a couple of times, Nintendo, you should chime in, please. Any weekend plans? Anything exciting happening for you?
Hostile sentry turret active.
Uh-oh.
I dropped by Nintendo stream on Wednesday,
Yeah, that was fun.
and talented,
For sure.
making some awesome artwork. I think Backrolls is in there, and it's so good.
Yeah, making a gift, I believe, for mom is what I remember.
Yes, correct.
CXD detected.
And that, it goes back to this idea of I'm not good at video games. I'm not good at art. I just talk into a microphone, and that's seemingly what I am able to
Which
do.
is a gift. That's a gift unto itself.
Although I've told you all this too. If you ever want to give me the key to my heart, apparently, is flattery when it comes to my voice. Because I still have the clip Kiki dropped where she said something about watching our show, and she said Hefty Goof has a proper recorder, or is a proper recorder, and I was like, aw. Like I couldn't quit smiling. I seriously, I walked around the whole day just being like, I'm so happy.
Well, and when someone compliments something like that too, like I had someone once tell me that they could listen to me read the phone book and they'd be happy after they listened to my podcast, and I was like, that is the nicest thing someone has said to me today. It's or ever maybe.
It really does make you feel good.
Flattery is huge. Money also. Just kidding. Mostly flattery.
Oh, go get that breakfast. Breakfast is the most delicious meal of the day. I don't know if there's actually any validity to the whole it's the most important meal of the day, but it is definitely the most delicious meal of the day.
There actually is validity to that. It's not just something your mom told you to make you eat your eggs.
Well, I was gonna say, if you ever want to watch something fascinating, watch the, I want to say it was like a Vox piece or something on YouTube about orange juice, and even if any of that is half true, the fact that it was basically because there was a huge overstock of Florida oranges, and they had to figure out how to get rid of them, so they tried to make and brand orange juice as like the breakfast staple in the United States. That's why orange juice is at least was in my household growing up, regarded as such. So
Interesting.
yeah, the more
Now,
you
there's some stuff about like your body and how it like stuff,
we got our gaming morning show, morning gaming re-news coming up here shortly, so stick with us for that. It's 8:32 on the West Coast in the U.S., 11:32 on the East Coast, and 4:32 in the U.K. You're watching Gaming Morning Show, otherwise known on the other side as the Gaming Afternoon Drive, which is a term in radio for the 3 to 6 o'clock hour back in the day. But we are with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is Look, It's Mike O. You can watch his streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday on Twitch. Look, It's Mike O. And check out Season 7 of the Monsters and Friends podcast coming up in January. MNF Pod on
Season
Twitter. Did I say Season 2?
You said 7. You went way. Wishful thinking.
Really
sir.
projecting for you, aren't I there? How about them apples? No, y'all are sweetest. Dr. Chick, Tracer, Nintendo Nerds are some of the names I see off the top of my head. Digital Doc Games was in here. A whole bunch of people hanging out with us. Pib, I think, was the first stop by as well, following us on Twitch, which you can do as well. Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at GamingMorningShow.tv. It is National Ugly Sweater Day. Christmas Sweater Day, specifically. National Underdog Day. Answer the telephone like Buddy the Elf Day. And this one I will give you the verbatim from nationaldaycalendar.com. Simply answer the phone and say, insert your name, the elf. What's your favorite color? Mike will demonstrate for us.
Hi, Mike the Elf. What's your favorite color?
As you answer, smile and spread some joy. It is nearly impossible not to. Encourage others to do the same. If you call someone, don't be surprised by the elf-like voice. Additional ways to celebrate as you answer the phone include dressing up. I guess nowadays, if you're answering a FaceTime call, people will actually be able to see you, too.
True.
Wear a Santa hat or an ugly sweater. Do you wear holiday socks? Be sure you deck yourself out. Hold a desk decorating competition or a fundraiser for a charity that day, too. Bake elf treats to share with coworkers. I think this was written in non-pandemic times. Let us know how your elfin phone calls go. All right, so that's National Day Calendar's description of Answer the Telephone like Buddy the Elf Day. It is also Arabic Language Day, National Twin Day, Baked Cookies Day, Roast Suckling Pig Day, and International Migrants Day.
Roast
Yikes.
suckling pig day. That's, that's an interesting one.
Nintendo got a pocket chat. This pocket. I remember pocket calls. I think that's my first pocket chat I've ever seen. All right, let's head to Photo Complete. We're gonna play some Google Feuds Photo Complete. The way this works is we will be both happy that we know things and frustrated to all get out that the picture has nothing to do with what you'd actually think it has to do with. And eventually, someday, this may be a game that we end up providing prizes for too, which would be fun. So this is from googlefeud.com. It uses the most searched photos from Flickr, and we have to complete the phrase. So in this case, you're looking at something that would have translated out as highway to hell.
So how does you get hell out of that picture, though?
Well, I mean, if and there is usually a clue. So the clue was probably, a song or music or something like that. So I think actually we could have got to this one, to be honest. You can see this says our high score was 19,000. I think we beat that last time we played, but we had to exit out because sometimes there are loading issues. So the countdown timer goes for those watching on stream, and then we will bounce in a little bit later. This is movies, the category. A blank. A blank. And we will have to find out some games we can play too from an accessibility standpoint, because I imagine some vision impairment could be an issue with this game. So I'll keep that top of mind.
But I don't know if it's right.
Dacinex coming through with a scarf, cinnamon. Tracer with a woman in orange.
A clockwork orange?
I got Clockwork Orange with Hofbrew and you almost simultaneously.
Oh, Hofbrew.
All right, 16 seconds for viewers to get your answer in, and we'll go in order and see who can help us get past 19,000 points. Number? I don't even know what we're really keeping score in. That's my favorite. Did you ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes, that show was amazing.
I believe there's still some sort of version on. I just don't know on what channel. It's hosted not by Drew Carey, because Drew Carey does Prices Right now, but
Aisha Taylor.
Yes. So is that one still on?
I don't know if it's just syndication or if it's like new ones, but it's yeah, I don't know if they're still actively like making them, but I know that they're not in syndication. They're on like the CW or one of those like random networks.
I tried all these guesses so far at Black Orange. Orange is the new black.
Orange.
I love OITNB. Oh, Orange is the new black. I was thinking that, it's like, weren't we just talking about Whose Line Is It Anyway? I'm like, I'm not following that one. My favorite, by the way, thing to make fun of my sister for, because she makes fun of me for some of my past awful pronunciations, because again, I'm very bad at phonetics. We told her we were going down to California to do The Price is Right, and then we were going to try to see Whose Line Is It Anyway be filmed, and it was on hiatus. And my sister asked me, she's like, "Where's hiatus?"
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was good. I got a woman stack, and I have Black Widow. All right, we're gonna hit the skip button. It was a Clockwork Orange. I typed that, didn't I? Did I skip that one from Hofbrew and you?
You may have.
Oh, Ryan, fail.
I don't really understand Clockwork on that picture, but that's fine.
Well, again, this is what makes this game fun. Is sometimes they're super obvious, and sometimes they fail horribly, much like I just did by not typing in an actual. Yes, I totally did skip that one, didn't I? Hashtag Ryan fail. I believe streamers would normally say something to the effect of F's in chat for that one. So, all right. So see, this is one of the examples that doesn't load correctly, so we automatically get a skip. Which, from a time standpoint, when you're trying to keep a radio show moving along, technically that's not the worst thing in the world. But this probably was something along the lines of like
not my cup of tea.
Yeah, cup of tea. That's what I was thinking too.
Not my loading of coffee.
Not my loading of coffee.
It's obviously the right one.
I can't believe we're already down to 3 skips. Oh, it's so sad. All right, here we go. Phrases. We got a picture. Thank you, Dr. Chick. Am I now officially a streamer because I've asked for F's in chat and have thus received one? There's a dog, and we can't even guess. That's the bad part. Like, I wish we could guess over where it says loading and still have a chance to not use a skip. So we got puppy hands coming in from Dason X. I love that.
Marley and Me.
Puppy love is a good one. That's a good one, Tracer. Yeah, my wife was over here actually the other day, and I gave her that term of endearment that she loves. I looked at her and I said, "Hey there, puppy hands." She was like, "Aw, you're just the nicest."
That's my favorite. I love when you call me puppy hands.
Pip, I believe Kiki would say that Tracer is cracked, because Kiki will come in here and just hit like 4 in a row and then miss like 4 in a row. Kiki is no longer cracked. All right, we're gonna start at the top. Puppy hands, no. Puppy love. Keep me accountable for actually trying all of these. Yeah, it was puppy love. Tracer gets us on the board. We are up to 3,000 points. All right, this one is a books category in blank, and this image actually has text on it. It says "Bloody Sky."
That's cool.
Tracer, usually it's me who doesn't know anything. I feel you. I promise you, this game has had way more rave reviews than the original Google feud. We can always do that maybe on Thursdays or something.
We should do that just to make everyone see how awesome it is.
Yeah. It can sometimes make you feel great. Sometimes it can make you feel sad.
It makes you feel something, though.
I definitely think the multiple choice one is better, but still there's some searches in there that you're like, oh, I wish nobody had to search this one.
What is that thing? Is that a cactus? A plant?
Oh, that's true. I was looking at it more like a flower or like a dandelion, but yeah, I don't think that's really what it is.
In Bloody Sky. That's...
We have literally no guesses, Mike. That means it's all on you.
Great. In Cactus Murder.
Oh, I remember that book. Oh, we got Dason X late with Cold Blood.
Ooh.
Yeah!
Oh.
Get
Nice.
it. Nice work. Look at that.
It's
Look at that.
Frost. Ah, good. I see.
Smart. Nice work. Everyone gives love to Dason X on that one. All right, here we go. Movies is this one. We are up to 6,000 points. Only one skip left. We're up to round 5. Movies, pictures of hats, kind of black with some blue rims, and then in, and it looks like, is that like a jellyfish?
Kind of looks like a jellyfish.
Okay.
Hats and jellyfish.
Oh, the old saying as it goes, hats and jellyfish. If jellyfish wore hats, right? Like, could you imagine? Be a lot easier to see. Have you ever been stung by a jellyfish?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that
and
sounds
it
so
was not
painful.
fun.
Yeah. Well, earlier I did say this. I'm not a fan of bees. Bees are my biggest illogical fear. Irrational fear.
It's not really irrational, though. I mean, an irrational fear is like being afraid of spoons. You know, like. If anyone in the chat is afraid of spoons, I hope I did not offend you.
It was not hats and jellyfish, just so
Not
everyone
Hats and
knows.
The
Again,
classic movie Hats and Jellyfish.
what do you got?
What? Like, it's a very specific type of hat, right? Like, who
All right.
are those people?
Church in dark.
Blue.
See, there we can't do the. That's a good guess, because it has.
Blue.
As far as I know, not being a photo complete expert, the pictures never have more than one word. Because like yesterday, remember, were you here for Dragon Tattoo Girl and the dragon with the dragon
Oh my
tattoo?
gosh. I was not, but that sounds
Yeah.
like it would have been awesome.
So there was 3 pictures, and one went below the fold. And so we're sitting here looking, and it's like, that's definitely the girl with the dragon tattoo, if I think that name is exactly right. And so we kept trying to type dragon tattoo over the picture of the dragon that was not a tattoo, but looked plausibly to give you that clue. And then finally I scrolled down, and it was sitting at the bottom. I was like, oh, this is something.
Spain and something.
All right, here we go. I'm going to hit
Spain
skip.
and jelly.
Men in Black. Of course, because when you search men, you're gonna get that picture of hats. All right,
makes me
last
wanna
one,
cry.
round 6. We've used all our skips, and we're toasted. We can't even do this one. Looks like rock formations with a person and an umbrella, blank on blank. I know, I let y'all down. I'm the worst. For what this would have been, it would have been man on loading.
Man on loading. That's
Man
a
on
classic.
loading. Oh, we have failed you. We have failed you today on Gaming Morning Show. I'm fired. I'm sorry. Big fail
It's
again.
ridiculous.
See, and that's the thing, Pib, is like you look at it and you just don't know. You just don't know. He
Yeah.
is Lucas Maiko. I am Ryan. This day in gaming history, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 came out. Did you play Dragon Quest?
I did not. I was not a Dragon Quester.
Final Fantasy X came out this date in 2001. No?
Were you a Final? I've never. I mean, I think they're up to like Final Fantasy 83 or something, but I didn't play it.
I like how Dr. Chick gives me my second ever F's in chat, and it was for me this time. I'm so sad.
Pay respects.
Oh, Dason X, some tear emoji with the Final Fantasy X. Does that mean it didn't go well? Or that you miss it? It was that good.
Maybe.
Our
Sad days.
our friend Wallstormer came in yesterday, the host of IntelliGame on Twitch. Oh yeah, Dason X saying it's Dason X's favorite one. That it means she's old. Okay, bye. Bye, Hofbrew. Yeah, I've tried to play a couple Final Fantasies, and I need to watch somebody else play them. Someone who's better at it. Someone who gets all the. There's so many numbers in RPGs. I wasn't good with numbers, so
Yeah.
I told
I
you.
lose track after a while.
I told you.
How
I have.
many hit points do I have left? I don't
Right.
know. 6.
Ooh, Nintendo saying the closest ever been to beating an FF mainline game, and never actually finished. Are they pretty intense? The Final Fantasy series to finish.
I think so. I think they're pretty. You have to put a lot of time into them. It's not like just, and I don't think it's like a linear game either. Like it's not. You play Call of Duty, you play the story mode, and it has walks that very linear road. I think Final Fantasy has a little more to it. TDM.
All right, we're gonna play one last round of Team Deathmatch, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this morning, and then we are gonna send you somewhere else for those watching on Twitch. We will have a recap of our gaming morning show, Morning Gaming News. That is our first segment after the open of the show. Our buddy Sean, hashtag video game expert, takes care of that for us. And it's also usually the first thing to go onto our YouTube page, which I just put that out there. You can find us by searching Gaming Morning Show on YouTube. We are always putting our interviews out there too. So if you missed the interview this morning with Dr. Jackson Ryan of CNET, we will have that on the YouTube page, usually by middle of the afternoon Pacific time. But our last interview with Ben Frisch of Slate is already up there. You can watch that. or if you missed any of our interviews, we do have a very convenient playlist as well. Nintendo. Bull crap. Big ol'. Nice work beating the auto mod as well. With 90% finish, and I could never beat it. You know who I watched this, or watched someone play for a little bit this morning? I was out there seeking out Facebook gaming and YouTube streams, but I did find through the fabulous Kim Chica on Twitch, great Discord as well, someone who was playing retro games, and I don't know if I'll head back to the stream anytime soon, but they were playing Battletoads. Do you remember Battletoads?
Oh my goodness. What a game.
When I think of hardest games ever, that's the one that comes to mind. Because that game was so hard to beat.
Oh, I lost the shotgun battle.
Big tears from Dr. Chick for Nintendo.
A lot of those games, like the older games, are super hard though. I mean, it's not like now where you can save content or progress or anything like that. Like, you spend hours playing a game and then you die, and that's the end.
Seymour in the Mountains apparently is not only a boss fight from Final Fantasy X, but is also my favorite country band. Also, Seymour in the Mountains is not a country band. It sounds like one. Seymour in the Mountains.
Ugh. Comeback metal is my least favorite metal.
There's been breaks. I'm about to break. This is where I definitely need to change my class, because the trophy systems aren't doing me a whole lot of good on this team deathmatch map. So.
Sucker. Oh, then he killed me.
Yep, everyone remembers all those. See, that's like a Whose Line Is It Anyway bit. Remember the CD infomercial one with Ryan and Colin? They'd host it, be like, oh, yeah, I remember. And then they have obscure band names. Oh, so good.
Oof. They destroyed my proximity mine. No, they didn't. Whoa.
They were in the
That
proximity
sucks for
of
you.
your proximity mine.
The guy watched me throw it down and then he ran over it.
Break it down. Dun, 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 dun. That was one of our birthdays this morning. Steve Austin has a birthday today.
It's Trish Stratus's birthday today.
That was a
Along the
wrestler
lines
as
of
well, right?
Attitude Era people.
I think I'm sensing a Nintendo Nerds Days X collaboration here soon, trying to beat Final Fantasy X collectively.
Oh my god.
That would be a great like podcast Twitch special. So we do every once in a while a gaming morning show after dark. Sean plays some sort of game. He's played the Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War campaign. And one thing that would be fun to do is like beat the game that you could never beat. Maybe even with community help, because there's somebody who beat a game that you could never beat.
Who knows what they're doing?
And yeah, so then they could help you actually finally beat that one. So well, and so that was fun too with the doctor on the show earlier today, referenced this idea of that, he's not trying to make us consider not gaming. That's not the idea of highlighting the energy consumption of a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, because he's a gamer too, and he even referenced what I learned early on in the show is known as the stack of shame.
That's the thing. It just needs to be made more friendly. And I'm sure that's something that we'll consider at some point here. When it comes from the game, the console creators, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
They're
you should
smart.
You should definitely do that, Nintendo. That'd be fun to watch. Because Battletoads is that game for me. Could never beat it, and I never owned it. I had to rent it. We had one. I'm from a very small town. We had a gas station that you could rent games from, and would rent it over and over and over again, and could never beat it. And it's because there's this part with like these jet ski hover bikes, and you have to fly past these different walls, and I would always crash into the walls. Super frustrating. Really bad. Gaming Morning Show final game is in the books. Look into the chat. Let us know what direction you want to go on Twitch. Otherwise, I will find us a place to go so that all of you hanging out with us this morning on Gaming Morning Show can say hi. We always appreciate you supporting others working on their stream this morning. I see one on here that I know Nintendo recommended the other day. Did Panther get the ability to receive raids from the outside working? If so, let me know in the chat, and we will send you that way. I'm Ryan. That is Look, It's Myco. Steven Spielberg has a birthday today. Ray Liotta has a birthday today. Brad Pitt, 57, has a birthday today. Here, put it this way. Brad Pitt and Stone Cold are about the same age. So
That's
there you
crazy.
go. Although Brad Pitt didn't spend 30 years in a wrestling ring. Katie Holmes turned 42. Christina Aguilera turned 40 today. Rapper DMX is 50. Angie Stone is 59. Lyrica Anderson, 32. And also the historical birthday, Ozzie Davis had a birthday, died in 2005. All right, we're going to send you toward Panther Lily Cat after the show is over. Let's close out with our Gaming Morning Show. Morning Gaming Re-News. We recap the headlines of the day. Of course, the Cyberpunk 2077 saga continued. PlayStation has pulled the game from its store. That's some pretty big news, Mike. Pretty
That's
nuts.
huge. That's not something you see happen very often when it comes to something of that level. I mean, if it was like a small time indie game that had a big thing, maybe I could see that. But I mean, you're talking honestly, it's like a theater pulling Star Wars because the movie cuts out at some point.
Yeah.
That's the kind of level that it is.
If you have been playing Cyberpunk 2077, you can certainly let us know in the chat, because I'm interested what your experience has been so far, especially if you're on a last-gen system. Yeah, nothing gets pulled from the Internet Store. There had to be so many return requests, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think this was kind of our consensus as the saga developed earlier in the week, at least between Sean and myself. If it took even longer from launch and everyone was really anticipating this game, and there's even more than just the gameplay that clearly they could have gotten right with some of the criticisms that they've had, I think everyone would be okay with that. I don't think people are absolutely dying to have a game that badly, but I'm not a huge gamer, so that is definitely maybe an outside perspective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as somebody who would consider themselves a very avid gamer, I mean, I would still rather have a good game that I can play than have a steaming pile of dookie, that's out there. So
The dookiest of dookie.
the dookiest of dookie, poopy caca.
There it is. I was
No
saying, what'd you
poopy
say
caca.
earlier? Another poopy caca from Myco. Let's see. I want to make sure I shout out everybody who I have shout outs built for, and then we'll make sure to add some more over the weekend. Among Us continues to expand. It's going to be on Xbox Game Pass. I think that's a pretty cool tie-in.
That's exciting. I've never played Among Us, just because of the phone thing, and it's like, eh. But if it was on Xbox, I mean, it would be fantastic.
Some out today's Catch 60 Parsecs on Xbox One. Family show. Dark Arcana, The Carnival, 60 Seconds Reatomized. Shikaku Shapes out on Switch.
Bless you.
Family show. Riddle Joker and Watum out on PC today. And the name of the morning, and thus eligible for name of the month, is Freddy Spaghetti, out today for Switch. If you didn't already know, you can follow us on Twitter, and we have retweeted all of those out there as well. All right, hey, y'all, from the Copia, Kiki Low, Dr. Chick, Chris M.E., Tracer, Digital Dot Games, Dason X, Hofbrew 19, Culty Vibes, Look, It's Mike O before you're sitting in that chair. Everyone who's discovered our show and has been willing to hang out with us early in the morning on the West Coast, toward the late part of the morning on the East Coast. Even Vad checking in from India today as I scroll up through all the fun stuff here. We really appreciate it, and hopefully as it turns about 5 o'clock in the UK, everyone on the other half of the world, I hope you have a great weekend that is technically about to start. Mike O, appreciate it, bud. Thanks for hanging out with us these last couple weeks. We really appreciate it for sure.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we all appreciate you. Be sure to check us out Monday. We're going to stream every single day for the next 2 weeks, as we usually would, Monday through Friday, except Christmas Day, the 25th, and except New Year's Day, the 1st of January. That is our plan right now. It could change based on what Sean's got going on, what Mike's got going on, or even myself, but I'm in my house, so I'll probably be here. So thanks for being with us. We're going to send you the Panther Lilycat. If you're watching on Twitch, be sure to give a shout out, a big thumbs up for sure, from Gaming Morning Show. Goodbye, Maiko. I am Ryan. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again on Monday. Gaming Morning Show.